ahoden ahye ne ma special drink is unim dada and flavors ni bebre obi obanu bi de ho dance say eyano ne a eye correct pa ne da sere bi ama this way chocolate drink and afi this way coffee drink eboa ama say no anadwo adidi e ma ye efunu ye kapuru nyane nyina ekọ enuenuro ahye ne ma nti so onum na anadwo ye say wadidi ape anopa se wo soro na se wiemu aye kosusa na gbobia na nane moja no na makọ na abedie na anopa no ho aye wose kama na otumi akwaba hwim ede aye adwuma nit fufuo and it abekwan yi anusu ede abeneguma hodo bebre bi wo anusu nye de jan ye kurase abeya Ghana beya ane ede nit abekwan nya so betu anu de gu ugbo mu chansi mu na wo de ne ma wo no wo na wo sen no anya fe na wo be konu aba bedwa de tutua anu awa hono long process the trinity awa e de amount na fo wi a wo de need fufu simanum na e krado ya ye body ene e menka ne e banche ene e body ne e de aye wo ka e twan ye posim ti amadidie e ye nika enane ntam nti e ma wo nye cheko e do mo se so bukra yemu abribia afi so bukra yemu asida no na ebekọ e de ma mo ena no pe ye hie ye bedi nkoma fa ne ma hodo bebre hu ye to aba wie den na ekoso yi NDC echitafo e ka me se ni ye bi yakoso ma ye se democracy ne se dan tiase ye to aba wie NDC ama ye kore echitafo bi ye ne ma hodo bi a du a odwene ho ana sebe nyansa bi anim enti ebedi ho nkomo ne pa esansade no kwa na ekoso enti ebehwe na yaka ho asem se wo ha obi a okwa betumi afa so aka no ane se obesesa niama na yebedi ho nkomo pa na fe ya hwe nsem odo a ekoso ewo mining semsemi oboase tututu ekoso no videos pe sub APP I say confrontation between the miners and the security agencies na hosabra no yebedi hu nkomo pa na ene yebobo ni taw esanse yeboja ye yanyantie se okọ efutu abatu mpesu aso a and this shita for ho akire se mampani mahama achiche dibre no wo mo parliamentary candidate ho no wanya bi eye owura James Kufia 9 into mako party in office ewo constituency wo akose nema bibiri ahyehye nema na se be ye ne ebehu nokura ewo sansemu se bi ono no hye akire se ono no hye akire se ye de se nya den no ye ya owura James Kufia 9 ewa homa no so a ye ne bedi nkoma no pay owura Kufia 9 no pay ye mo achi emo akwa ba ma office apa
me da se afi nkomo tie na si se na etunko
sa afi de ba o mi se benya wo si de oda krom ye di nkomo
ya bom pai so mo fra ma baba
ayo ene ye be fie na ekom be frɛ wo ano no ene ma frɛ wo nti unya kwa no Kofi ye nko echi kakra na ye hwe wo constituency eye efutu yenim se be ho be ho ahye ho na onunyafo afanyoma kens wo enti eho nye be a ebeka se banche a abrewadwo constituency what is say ye ka bato no nsamsam a
constituency wo no asumdwe na ye wo ho motin there the best party nimu for the 2020 elections at the time I met party nimu no now it was a party in decline the history of the constituency na yanura Mike Hammer na otan winning the constituency no. Na normally no on winning constituency na or the 14,000, 15,000, 16,000. The last time on winning constituency no, on winning by 16,000. And that was the year 2008. In the year 2012, and MPP first seat NPP the first seat with 17,000 votes. And Mike Onya 16,000 votes. So that is the usual number for the constituency. Now, after the 2012, unfortunately, the party dipped into a steep decline for two reasons. Number one was that there was no clear leadership in terms of the candidature. Number two, now MPP for no adopt a strategy there over importing votes from other constituencies into the constituency. Into the NPP in 2016 won the seat with 22,000 votes. And the NDC is declining from the last of 16,000 votes to 12,000 votes. So you can understand the decline that was happening. Then, after the 2016 election, the party then became like a toy. And see, remember also that all this while, I was not in the party, but I saw what was happening. And I remember me in 2020, now it was then a renewed energy. Samamba and be a 2020 election, they are not party into me, even 5,000 votes. Because not the party was actually in decline. And remember so mono, and now, maybe almost 19,000, from the 12,000 to 19,000. But at that time, in 2020, now the importation of voters into the constituency had reached some levels unimaginable. From every 19,000 votes now called them the winning constituency. And the MPP had 33,000 votes. Just look at the numbers. It was not real. It was not normal. A constituency that was always around 16,000, 17,000, that's about. If it is growing in numbers, you should not grow that much. But MPP had 33,000 votes when I got our 19,000 votes. So that has been the trend of the constituency in recent times. So those imported voters now were registered in Musesia. Just about 3 months ago, the immediate past MP for Agona West, Cynthia Morrison Bakade, I feel I can have some 7,000 voters from one of the constituency that are Futu, and the minister by Vara, and now MPP one constituency former constituency chairman no way Futu, also Kajina platform the war Agona Gomwa West. There are 4,000 voters Wofi Gomwa by register were a Futu. On no there a Futu community center quiet first and when I saw there or a Gomwa lands in just by this the account of these two MPP leaders, we are talking about 11,000 votes from only two constituencies, Agona West and Gomwa West. 11,000 voters imported into a Futu constituency from those constituencies. But let's remember that Ewutu West also suffers in our hands with the imported voters. Gomwa East and Gomwa Central all suffered. A plus now as in honor during the transfer offer at least 3,000 voters from a Futu not to call back to the constituency because they are Gomwa Central citizens. So why would they register and vote in a Futu? So you brought them back. But menka the last one. So actually last transfers now. Although a Futu constituency, household population is only 90,000. Indian and the highest number of transfers around the region of 7,000. Even a Gomwa East and the population here over 300,000. They didn't get the numbers that we got. They got just around I think 4,000 or 5,000 transfers into the constituency. So that should give you a picture of what is happening in Efutu, where we estimate over 20,000 people have been transferred from or have been taken from other constituencies into the constituency to vote for the MPP. That's how they win the elections. For them, they would never have won the election.
What can say omo ye transfer of votes and na man hwiri kwaso sa hwan and na transfer of votes munyina na mo ye and so one political party na ye.
Oh, yeah, MPP for no way. One way, na me mo tika the buy the if you are transferring voter, or they will demand for money. And you about to they will demand for money. In fact, some of ya video be buy out, viral video be buy out. Now what's the MPP? According to video no. What's a film I came on 1,000. No, I'm a swear the over to Aba or that man. That is what was contained in the video. And I was spread around. And we have several audios and pieces of information now confirming that there people were being given 1,000 Ghana cedis. How am I going to get that 1,000 Ghana cedis for each voter? And the strategy the MPP uses is that we're recruiting for 200 all around. And our tax will be either at least bring 100 people to come and register, maintain them. We'll give you the money to do that. And that is a heavy investment. I don't have that kind of money.
Now, election with 2020 election, 2024 election, one our contest here, equal chamber.
2024 election, you know, and I knew I was going to win, but I didn't win. And I didn't win because of the same reasons I'm not catching. One, a lot of work was done in the constituency. And the guy there, yani papa bi or your principal or your like or your doctor, why your NDC, you might charpa national taxon. The ombaye shemu efutu. No onhwe there, yan chances today. Obey this is more year no. As at April 2024, me 45%, and I feel like 34%. That was the result that came out of that investigation and that research award year. So we knew, and it was not only that data that was important to me, but whatever constituency, if you speak to Nkwafu Tena, I think you there's 6 and not 7. But the issue that came to the surface is the importation and the money aspect of things. Because even now, what outside the constituency, you don't even have the benefit of having access to be in touch with them, to talk to them, and convince them to vote for you. It is on the D-Day, and just like 2020, it's the last election no students were on vacation, but all hotels were full, all hostels, students on hostels all Winnipeg now became full. In fact, community centers are waiting for Winnipeg now became full. People were just, I think there was a massive festival constituency. So that is what then brought the difference in the election. Tell me imagine this. The NDC, a party, win a future constituency. We have to do two main things. Number one, we have to change the register. Absolutely important. We have to change the register. Number two, we have to look at how we finance the party in the constituency. Because the party cannot be left on the shoulders of one person, knowing the person that we are facing. As I'm to say, know what he's doing in this country and how its nature is. And if you leave the party on the shoulders of one person to fight such a cause, it will be difficult because of a big investment. You need a lot of money in order to push that agenda. So these are the two main things that we need to do to win the Futu. And I can assure you, a Futu is winnable for the NDC.
All right.
Most people in the Futu are NDC, and so it's winnable.
Okay. After Yamra back to what are some ways your constituency ho say party chitafo akwa say party no office in your mind who do be. What's your what in saying a dentina sabasaba say a course?
Master, and I condemn it. I have issued a statement. I'll soon send you a copy. My duty here on 3 years, and the more you're in there, Obi Chia, Obi the Jama, Kofiana, and Waka Sonechi there 1 year, and that is what hurt me. What's in there? Monday, I was not in the constituency because I had to seek some medical attention. So I went out. I didn't come back to the constituency. It was on Wednesday, and I had to go back because I had a few things to do. So I had to go back. And I've been indoors since that time. But Friday, I think Thursday, I delivered to the Friday. And I mean, information there. Constituency executives will be a meeting. Normally, when a meeting, where me campaign office, more campaign office or constituency, or the way your meeting. Into okay, there obey a meeting. But me information there, some of the youth are all constituency or per there, what could disrupt meeting, you know. Into my friend, young deputy communication officer. You know, I friend Osama. The friend of my there. This is what I have heard. Into meeting, okay, no. More on your me any office work. Unlock a offices me now. Now what should your baby for okay meeting no. And of course, man can say with the now I've not been feeling well until now I will not be able to even attend the meeting. Until once I gave the deputy communication officer that instruction, I know that he was going to do it. Until we said there was a unlock office me, you'll be from what officer that will share Osama, what no. Well, I to office now what to own you. Then I know that okay, me instruction I'm in my and now why? Then later I let them know they were going to organize a press conference. The youth were going to organize the press conference. It's one I'm afraid BNI. I'm mentioning names, so you can check with these individuals. I then called the BNI officer in the panel. Now, my friend, now I saw an eye free. My meeting there was one OP appointment. Now, even a woman appointment, no, we feel the undeserved, even if you come or if you win it back, but we feel the undeserved because from 2020 and 2024 in our campaign, in our 1 man to the but me and you there always and constituency no call and tell or pick up with your own use. I can bear 2 weeks now. Why 2020 elections? What will come and tell them? I'm for pick up and more. No one final rounds can craft for just the 2 weeks. We are for them, but 1 year and a pick up notice your own 2. Into no, if I didn't see not the mean pay, what but today I'll be needing there 1 man appointment as a gaming commissioner. And see. That is the reason why, information that's the reason why they were going to do a press conference. So I quickly called the BNI officer or constituency. This is what I have heard, that the youth are going to engage in a press conference. Now, this is the contact of the person whose name has been mentioned. Take the contact, call the person, and monitor. And do everything to prevent it from happening. Don't forget today, me feel fancy, me to pray. And I could have gone out to even find out what was happening. And I'm making them. So every day, I was done. Me social media, all these things happening. It is so unfortunate. And I will use me. And the main reason why I'm going to demonstration, I want to come some. We used to meet what they want my appointment. But the president will not give me appointment just like that. I agree. I admit it there. Time I made a campaign. I promised them there's a what to Abamam, not by your MPR. I have no doubt there. president, of my appointment, so that also when you are budget. I promised them. But I didn't win the seat. So you don't hold me to that promise. And I have come out, the radio station war constituency. Into my radio, the mother catcher on there. They should be measured in their expectation because as well as promise I'm in mind, Mr. Messi Winnipeg Central Market, Messi Factory Amon. All those promises mean on condition that you vote for me and make me an MP. So if you have not voted for me to be an MP, why would you expect to me to fulfill that promise? But what kind of yes, I mean, but we have 187 MPs. If a president appointment no year now, with the exception of one amen the National Youth Organizer, the minister. All the rest of those who have been appointed are MPs. Regional ministers are, with the exception of Greater Accra, all the rest of the regional ministers appointed are regional executives, regional party executives, which means that President okita formula bia or the Yanazi.
Okay.
So why would you then expect the president would just now appoint him? For what reason? In fact, my youth in the and 3 years, and I condemn it, but apart from condemning it, I feel they should not just associate me with the things that they do.
Okay.
Since I was very video, now what media ever from because what the media from one, and I know over successful. But that one too is or places I'm taking there.
Okay. And to say, and yes, we as a man and I will catch a mebunu or the Senebeya, Bibiatis and Concourse, and say one more share all call social media comments and conform and as a for now. I come say a yagu hoofi, egu constituency, no hoofi, egu abanus hoofi.
Mamma there. I would like to myself apologize to the president and to the party for what the youth did. And to say that, I don't know what year in trading. And I wish I had said this there. When what call me party office, me constituency campaign office now, who there I don't know what to do. Son of call a constituency chairman if he into one or two constituency for the way meeting or constituency chairman if he. And the whole thing was erupted from there. Either what one you want Kasana or you to win okay more year. Can I say? You know the new Nankasa, why you all do? I apologize personally. One from my call, but why apologize personally to me?
Okay.
There, I don't know what year, no, you're there. You plan it. But what could do constituency for now? When there was a meeting or chairman, if you not get a shut down.
Okay.
1 year meeting office, no order you want. So it became to go to win or the career, no other year.
Okay.
Into no, we see there own CBM.
Okay.
That is what I will say.
All right.
Now, next time we're there. If you can call the BNI officer to confirm what I have said.
Okay. We'll do that. Until they have contact my and friend in
contact me.
All right. James, you better say pa and an penny on Shroud so. All right, James Kufia 9 and a future parliamentary candidate ma Andy Samayuko Neho and Nunya for Afenyo Markets one or pre 2020 election. Edma NDC say parliamentary candidate and a fee 2024 years so no Korea no Sanko. Ne hu basabasa ye see ho mabunu no kire se opani na wo hwe kwansa mampani ebema ne dibrebi ene wa ama no anu nti na omo ye basabasa yete saro na wuti ne no musam oka o kire se de see ye no wo no wonim ho hwe onso mu bia na o condemn de see ni nyina nti bepebre na party fo ho no se no madi nkomo na fe ya hwe na ye hu bebi ansam no efiri ba yankasa wonim nyina de nsam ahodo bi ena na no pay ye bedi hu enkomo na enram na shebedwo masamba kom kan say no ablikuma north and no parliamentary business and as a government business it be say ekoba say ya to abawie na constituency baako yetumi enhwe asam no enkan wie ya and does it affect the business in parliament house ne yɛ sɛ bisa so sɛ saafoɔ no 4 solid years no mu nim na hyɛ badwani ɛno so dɛn ne yɛka de fa ho electoral commission dɛn na ɔmo yɛ a no nti bɛpem nnɛ wɔntumi anya bibi ɛmfa saa abrekumanof abato pesua so ho sɛmsɛm no nsɛm no deɛ bebree enti moma yɛnkɔgye nkratoɔ tiawa yɛba abadwafoɔ bɛtena ase na afei yɛdi nkɔmmɔ motwɛn yɛn yɛba sisi yɛn. Agya Kwabena afebra so sebedwafo be ye hyase na yedi enkomo na ene yenkomo bedi semadi kanka kire mu no efansema odo bebre ho ne ye behwe ECG privatization a ho nsamo aba ye beka ho asem yesi edan ECG ade ahyan kwankwansa meanwhile ECG ni mu nankasa no samo baka yi a in 2023 and before 2022 I think so somewhere September bibisa question bi say ECG power na yeto no so sika no a ye de top power no ekọ ECG account to move straight and na se fa ba bi ansa say na fa ba bi ansa enti say adwumakuo no so aye private aye omo so omna so omjeje to de ma ECG na ne ye behwe efi bre say adwumakuo no ba ye no eka ECG abo ene bre omo ma ye no ye bedi sasem no nkomo pa na ebisa say se be dan ECG a sha nkwankrensa no and the solution ede ma ECG ha wo mu ana esanse ate abedwakuo bi a na soafo ohwa nyina mahode nsam so nate John Jinapo say womo etebedwako so womo enye we ka say feasibility studies and one put two heads together no mo work on befa so a obetumi agya ECG a cha nkwankwansa Public Utility Workers Union for so kasa said they were not consulted and they will make sure say sa enhihye ema so yebedi ho nkomo na fe ya hwe nsema do a koso nititiru pa about to ye basabasa ye sie no eno so yasem a ye beka wasem no pesan se asem hia pa na ya hwe baby ti se asofo yi wo mu vetting ene ne ma hodo ekoso no hu no so asofo no nyije na akro hu o mo sai ye beka bambo mu na afia kusikasam tuchie mu ene de tete sa yesi asofo ba ko de we late enti entumbo ntumi anso in Oko di breka CSA ya dem as a minister of state. They say the brema da ye de akofona hye wonsa say enne na ye de tumi ama so be sector minister. Now why you later? What does that mean? And yes, bia wo baby na eba wo nkran ha ya. Nti eba ne say na we late. Eba such an important occasion want to be enro. E question na ye bisa. We so your ban to me enka ba ye beka. Your ban na di bre na ma no nti ye beka wasem. Esanse yasem hia pa enti ena no pay mami force da ma o matade ehemi ata na efe obi ohu bi so eja watade ye fe ai aye perfect man for that Roma ena o de sa atade yi ema me wo me pam de share me ena no pentu ye opam san ena ma kokwaje media na me so ma share enti so ko na kwaje perfect man for niam ni bi wo ma pimpam the colors bebre designs bebre sizes bebre enti bo wuru ahono je wo de share ye no a papa bebi akono na wa na wo se na udam sei yopo na watumi ama ho siesie ene onima oye nyina no akoso boko perfect man for some cultural center de no se de siguo no ego se bafu sabeka bi e da o ma se papa obetumi afre perfect man for omo kaftan esoro ne fam efe pa sem sorry gina wa efe omo number 0244 147212 0244 147212 perfect man abba wa mama ye nice this morning anopai abejafo be kamensa na ansa na meda omadi no mefa ho kwan na mefa ma na nadwumo brobe odi kan Capital View Hotel ye Koforodua mema na naachi na me kan chere na ase ma ne hyeden pa na se ba eda fam na se ba ni pompa eda fam enti enche be koye asewa yie da ne na wo hweda no ebe ba so ntinana Jumo Capital View Hotel yewura anopei mema wo hyeden na menum se ebre no so a ye ba beta wachi na ye de edi abrewa na wohweda no February that also means 3rd February enti ebre no so ye beba enne na East Legon Executive for so this year kron ba ono so yeja no kwan kra wo kwase nti East Legon panyifo nyina executive panyifo nyina mamu nyina hyeden pa mam hyeden pa mam hyeden pa sense de atom no ade a eni susu pa to bende enye asi awie nti yenim se ankase ye so yeja yade ahode beta mochi kakra na so wada Roma yentumi amabi kra na enya hwe be kan na owura Maxwell kwasi poku adona friend Kotoro ai nti ye mamu nyina hyede mba busua ni nyina ne adofo nyina so hyede ene menu akuma baako edem mensa chotome or Ghanaian Times and na woda was it yesterday? I think yesterday, and I said nemu baako nti da baby obiano me ma awoda pa ma mente wonka na waso odin why kese no wafona toto ni nti no wonhwe onua pani na de be ko ekuru mu no mama ada valanda so na dan mu beti pa ena no pa bijafo be kamensa na ye be hya se na ye di enkomo no wo mehya se na fi ha ye abomma bi bankum so chirichiri wo pa echiri wo pa abusua pani Kofi Monko oka NDC communication team no ho ebiase nyina abusua pani eno no owa ha ena fe Solomon no owusu Solonso eka movement for change for no ho no na no enya sabketo akranti solo ha yebedi nkomo pa me say after election yen to omunka bio on party na dey and movement na gu
yenka bio na wa say movement atade also wonti yenka
there be we nyama
that's not me gay
na akade
me di ho ya papa also da bi o kasa wonti yenka also someone no because yankwa na ye credible krum asisi ya misro me kwa na credible problem
mo kwa na mo credible krum me da se sabe ka na no won na no ahase ano no Solomon usu na na fe Benjamin ensia Benjamin ensia yobi a ye ka fanwo enyinamo hoden ene ho samsam a wa bin wo bu papa sikasam tutu so abeja sa maka tu akasa all weather oye komsheni sa maka bibia bese konkom bi obehye bia no eyade a ebam enti ben so pacho obi fo obom me pacho obi fo obom enti mo hwe na mo hwe aha na obi ne ni fo nkro nim se ni fo na wiase boele o aha enti Benjamin sia wa ha ono so de na dwinkyere ba beboa na fe me benkum so Emmanuel Kutin na security and intelligence analyst ye kan bambo mu nsam ne nema hodo ekoba se amanfo ye be fan ye be wura he nipa bonfo bebe wura ban bi mu yanhwe ya se betumi se wana asefo no wono okatane ni a ohunu ni nyina Iman so ewa ha ena fe minifa so pe enso Ernest Adade ka MPP communication team no or such a nice man na mo ade ba ko pe na aka wanye ena ode aba position eme ya na so mende jafo ma wina akwa ba
aba we dey say ye ka na fitire ye ta ka na fitire
ye tu fu okukom na se wanti ya ye ba bonti ewie ena ma se ma me hye semfa mfiri so abusapani ye to abawie ye nyema ACC ewo mo party no NDC amayuko no mu ekame say it's becoming unbecoming yen kan sa obetie yesi won akwa akoye wi obetie yesi won akwa akoye wi obetie yesi nansen ya Ghana Revenue Authority yesi mo nkrofo ni bi ko ho se pani aye ni foforo no omo hwe se ono betuma ba ba ye adwuma na I mean it looks odd pa because onti ase yeti ho the CSA ho central party office mo akwhye no ukobole bamboy yesi MP ni yamani dibre enu ntisi yahye no ni nyina ye dibre a obi nyanti the CSA ye futu aye ne James Kofia na de hu komo na no pay e ka me say akoso bebre mitu mubo ni nyina as a political party a mo pese mbo power 8 years na 8 years no so mo ba mo nya atumi no overwhelmingly majority in parliament and then vote amampani nya no so bebre enyo bia no betu anya dibre o mo party no and then amoka to mo party no echitafo no asum ena o madwene mu ai no nti no after this election no wo mo ye de o mo ye
ja bedase na mamemfa we free so na benchia wo ene wo production team na fei me mamu nyina afrishia pa visa afi ye nhia ene menu ya no ma ne me nyonkodoma ye ngashia ya wo studio ha e ma wo nyina nso achi e ma won afrishia pa eja perfect ifo no catch on say me pe wa tare ne mutuntum
so mati perfect man for me dom number ba man wa from why tell me boy 0244 147212
yeah that's it na His Excellency John Dramani Mahama so me mana tnae on na be de chiri Professor Jenna no poku ajimai eja sema o kan de ne kwa me so no ne ka na anen because no de ahwero ebe fie ono no de wansena bai na uko nwuram na ukofa oja a ngwongwomi nso ahyemu a ufi won tate ampa hoda ye kana kwakusi den edu ba bi ana asem bi wa mpanyinfo kase nea oboya ma oputo edu ba bi a so aduane ne ben na so de bom na wo yinimu a ebe na yawo makika sanse bi nyina ka ba besi na use ukasa na we your introduction o can be say eya borso kware ni menua adade wa he obaba betu mu nkyene na yesua fi won ho because 2020 election after that no uhwa Kandahar crocodile Delta Force okutu payene pa won office o tamale so bekaya ono de obi a wod nat one kasa e mo
Kumasi national security coordinator
onu kura be ba onu achi ni kura no ba kokura si eye de o charge gu ye nso akrofia siedu so bekaya onu kura de okwa kwadwo nso menante ni koso ne berema mu kwadwo nso yi posa na hwe ane ade uni ni nyina security coordinator enu achi ni kura wode no kogina wode menante ni kogina court den ni si wo court den ni na eya yetia yemfuaso na mum edu ba bia eye kasa pa ne kasa de on say ubisa asem bi say campaign e den promise boshe ben em say yem boshe yankoshe kokoam ye campaign we yankoshe kokoam ye ntumi anka nkire ye ngachitafo say obi an take position. We never promise anybody asema ye kan ne say ye per second independent and ye the campaign. That was young nyina na mumma ye reset Ghana nti nkunimdi ene na ade ba nyina ye tu hu ache ene ye nyina ye tu gu mountain so ene o manyimu na ye koye ya na victory by eja ni ye kofo sanse mi nyina ba no o so funtum bereku de nchembereku won afurubom nso wodidi a eyofum ene say ese sanka saadi we bay ye won krofo e wo constituency ye won pedofo wo mo friend say regional level and ye won national pedofo ye won niam bi wo victory bar the way you manage it is also part of it enye denga ye won krofo bi wo a aba no wo fo say ye wo brofo kasa bi a ye kan o say entitlement mentality say victory na ba ne de ese say yenso ye nga bang na aba enti ese ye de ye be ye enti wotumi ko fa emra so won se ba nka constituency leadership no ebetumi sorry afrem na ntene no won akasa eburu won so a ye wo regional executives wo they can also step in and sign a national ba because one idea koso eja say we dey to form ahun say opani bia ni wo ofra wo mu eye mranti bia won so wo feel say yen nuano mo no eba power mmiri bi etwa mu no wo betu yen krofo no so sa dey started 2000 dey sisi started 2000 embra Lawrence fi abaso na omampedi kufuo ne MPP be take over no niye ne say koye say won aye ku em say ya mamu kura no so ya mamu na won atuagu look at proceed on leave look at you could seize toilet you could seize toe boot yes say sa de ne be ka ho emma no kwari ni 2008 2009 nyame ya do ma obinfo professor ayi mo friend say obinfo atamel say buy no NDC fo so ye bi we could seize toilet woko sizi toe boot woko ye ne awoye nyina na Professor Mills etumi bie na no ka kire on say eye munya moma nsie ya moma ye nkotete aso e ho anya ebe ye nsen na ho nti do ye kura ne se obeka ya oma MMDC funo mo fa say yes
MMDC omtina mu kakra
omtina mu for about 6 months MMDC funo bebre dwan na so o se dabi ye wo se yetumi e kate we no e wo ba bi yetumi stop no na ye hu se ye nuanom but eden ye hu 2016 bia ne say ye bobo so ye na me say bobo so ya okura oka bi security coordinator wodi ne ko Central region as one pedo data force of say hey denti police ni o ye train person me ni akuti wa obaka security aspect no nanka bruce ACP nanka bruce police ni o obe adwuma of say ye the matter presidency ye say me be adwuma ko discharge any duty only one data force na invisible for wo yi ni si wo yi no wo chini gegegege fi card police car no ka chese faki ni bra na ya we ho wo say no akwa koto won say yakọ office obi ato na dua o fe di papa ekura ne rubber bag polythene black yi na dua wo na boy si twe no tie ne ye ya sa ayi ni kura ba out no security CCTV camera room so jenia o tumi kate sa won de beto abonten no omo che ne ko she garum they arrested the soldier man at the presidency. So all this video number out. So we're exposing the government. And you say, wow, they did so many things this 2017 year. As I make Kenya to 2000 me catch you say, and this is so by 2009 but this time and so what do we need to form a hobbit a minima.
Sir.
Yes.
I did talk say minima in the way.
Intia make can say no query nearby a jamona moa mentis will be a quadruple toilet here. Me who be it, who should be what baby I. Menti say, Tobu Tunde, a lawyer, former road minister, my friend, Kwesi, Amakwata, Nadauroma, or the Nemra, and need to me. It shall Tobu to them. The name baby could not say 2 minute fee. It's a Tobu to dear now. Na baby babe, a be a sunny and moon ananga as a Senate. No quarry, no only thing I ever can say, and you're no council. But once one has said Donald Trump has set example be a sanka young so.
I need your way.
Donald Trump wanted to see say about 1,000 workers. I said, I cannot work with you. Leave. Eja, Mintiasi baby to say Cocoa Board, Fifi Buaf, where the manager. I was chief executive office. Fifi Buaf. Every one mano spokesperson for Napo. Akoye campaign wo Ghana nyina Fifi Buafo wie no asa akotra office wo. What are you waiting for? Sa niam we nyina na so sebe inframabone wo jeje so yebom. Inframabone wo jeje so yebom. Niam me wo ebia enye sa no biate but abang no film. Just move. A political appointment. Live there.
And only if we are Muslim to Moshe.
Yes, Yabaka Chelsea. Baka Chelsea. And Brantila Koya.
Some penny for necessary shaman economy or yes, a woman.
And young Abbing, who named Dokunway, not Yasha Abbing. Who named Dokun Abbing, Namiana Yasha was a Yawunim Abbing. Leave the place. It is a
leave the place and on no leave we.
Don't worry.
And obi soon necessary to mission is a massa and so called nas also on qua. You be Piamo. Penina so she says Jumano on Kashi and on the Panaton and Juma. And on the Panakas on no corner there, you can't blame him.
Inti, one say more Kumas a Central region MPB. Young man of Menidia Thai area. There be a 7 Nimu you drew Kakra. To name you draw Taiko Metro. My kind dino. Or say, President Nankasa, what to about a man on will lose you, but we may lose walk. So he doesn't see the need as a office work. When him that somebody have to force you.
Obian in the conscience. Adomako, good. Me that's it. Obia on the conscience. Obia sort of very reacting about issues. Obi wo ho a ono ohunu ni sa ohunu se mi adwuma na meye me tu omun kasa media ketu abiri bi omun kasa mi nkoe de ne metena ho obi so wo ho a ni tibua no se we are building the image ni reputation such a way say oya de no said de be ya obi nkonya na wasam nka obi so ye ka na wasam no pepa enti so nipa no wo ho na munim so nipa na waye we na mu mpanifo na edi anim no so mo ya de no wo mo anye na sa chitafo no eye de obo ya why then you blame the chitafo no
and enti na wo kro raise ba be ka kire say nia odi ahwere wo ba fie onu no de once na ba onu no ye saade no enti so wo leader no wo de appointment na ba on say yen nyina nye obia wo to aba ema NDC and obenya position sometimes you won crofo bi kura hu say they were not known a partisanship for all supporters of NDC but sometimes no bo say the appointment I dey amano obia nka ho hwe because sometimes to me I say oh, no this guy is knowledgeable we at least the contribution or you fair or you balance let's allow him but the known one no one say him obi to say Reverend Edmond Yireji Methodist sofo yi na wo NCA a mon crofo soma na wo kututun SYZ team power SYZ sata me na wo ajinga no eno move ba osu onu no lead say hu ajinga no okwekotum ahode so she di blue shirt kiri no kotum otum na oni sa police fu na wo kura soldier move AK47 ya de no straight to Radio Gold no close no command tanko Ibrahim tanko kona ko tuwa de no kura wo soro ho ye pese yete chichichi kura biem na munti FM na munti FM wan ini wo biem Radio Gold etumi tina wo security bi ye ko wa ye ne de agore pa unim se security no wo ye ne sa na ofi ho no papa no wanye dwuma wan ye no ni ba bia ye papa de be yare obi ahwe no ahometew e kire obi bia papa de wi no kwai. There are so many people who do say. And
I saw suffering no then why?
Also for you then children na nyaw na leading na okoton side nim. Obi ahu. It is na ya yeti we. Won ba no say oba be won appoint as NCA border. Who say supporters ni beti ase. You Agya Kwabena wa for godito. Say me wo position. What to me abeyi man aduan. Because who party na power. Na party na ba. No say more slot into who Korea will not appoint to say Bramba your boss and cast over robo and then now the Bayami. And when I would check Consi, when none ya were crown, what to be able to me. Now, no, question of POP, Maunanga, what you got Bayami. Agya Kwabena, these are the things. So you don't need anybody to even your conscience should tell you that, Massa. The thing has changed. I didn't change. You will need few pay to be a sadden. It's a new who can also be occupy NCA. Problem no. GRA, no can say Akwe or your known MPP. Ye Nimuno. On more NDC or can be also. How would they know? I know. You see, that is the problem. I need to use can make catch.
How would they know so we NDC, we MPP?
Yeah, also can make catch from constituency level. You were executives. Your regional level. Nipa kwa oman sa appointment no. You need to meet these guys and tell them. You will never be our leadership. Agya, mami ka sem chire obi frɛ me. E kan say be point you obi chire me. Na me nim da. Papa no mami na oyo obi abesi o frɛ penia o campaign pa no 5 case dem say no say Gina for kokko o MPP ni so bia. No fight sika wo bag mu pa e de ma se mesi se je na fa koye campaign so ti ase it is any power we say winnim no obi ankyere o mu ankyere wa na se wo kohwe se ye de biribi ahye ne nsa wo be ye dede the only thing is that the leadership ye mpanimfo na won so wo ho no ebi mu ntumi mfrem mo fra no na mrante na wo ye sa no na won kasa na ano berebre e ma baato wo kire san se minimu a megidi se wo ho wo beti ase ye woni pa bebre niema bi wo ha wo ya woni wo ko Ghana gas so wo se nkrofo ko Ghana gas abansasan yi ba ya wo ade ba no ko ye won anko touch official pia ese se ye hu sa niema we se wo kwa enya workers wo ho wo anya one particular person ye won target no wo ka chen se masa kofie wako Ghana gas no nga ma won kwa ma won anko inside won ga 7 say ne ya hwehwe no ne amu hwehwe no ni ya aba no wie no park ne ne ma fia no wako akọ hwehwe abo ya papo no wode na akọ ya ponche nkrakra wako e wo so wa park ne ne ma kọ de dada because odwa na no e kansem owie no say ne NDC fu suro no wi ase nyina yo ono no ka wo isi patapa pieto wo de mra na ewro NDC fu suro wo abga papo it will challenge you through this challenger abantugua those who are real guys they will come after you na ya hwe say wo suro won ana wo suro
enti se be bia adura ni de akoso ne se de ne ma ekobe hwan na wo de asobo no na se wo de eyine to na boboa no the leadership of the party and na wo ka kire omo ama hu ne se bibia ne ma ko no nye ana se de say appointment na omo ye no leadership na ye it's a leadership hu no bibi asemasim so no betumi abona so ye a you the one be wo akire no so wo de utumi enye ho ayi bia o
enti na Agya me ka kire o say sampenfo we nkrofo ye ko ho no wo leadership wo definitely wo be ko ho no ye benya obirima edi o mani ma omo leaders you call 2 or 3 of them aside no makasa say no say e bia montie mumra office da na amnye ne yankasa wo chiro mumu a o mankasa betumi aka che nkofo no say chale modebo ma yenko na mpanifo say wo be solve sa problem who can be about bullying voter region and the party office no yes yawo na so san nkofo na say what ya say President Mahama say even ministers ne kura na 87 was ahina na Akufo-Addo dey fi 126 bedu yi no enye won nyina because a waste of resources into obetwa so no about 60 aduasa aduosia odiose ayoyo o se kwa no betena so far ne about 42 aka 18 also enu o de be ya adwuma nti enyu bia owo party nim eno benya appointment and ministerial appointment into one year sir even so when ya ministerial appointment a board so or MP a wo betumi de na to so em wo tumi de arane nkakra nti wo mo party ni mu na nkasa no enima bi wo mo nti ase ukọ na akọ sai min enura bi ni minua bi bonkobo mi say o rante ne hu tese ne hu fifiri na wo mo na obi amoye di na mi say to obo say ha wo kasa ya wani abiri hina na wo kasa kire when you benya kumayare when you meet the appropriate authority then you address them with your grievances enumom ene ebehum isi me nuanom no obi anya abotre kakra na afekura ma ye kura 1 month kura ma
me dase me esan se wona wa ban mu na wonsam na abenti me ma time be sa ne se ne be ya obenya kwa
wona ka we kura ma 3 minutes adade
ani no so na meba adade ya hwe de ekosuru ni emi say ya se so bi abokoro no da obi abokoro no da na so bi bokoro no a ya obokoro no da no so bi kon kan che do obokoro no se wo ye kronfo essence no bibi be kwa abokoro no da sa attack abanya sesa yin no ehase no ehase o baabi edidimu ama na bedu baabi amenne eda so wo ho mu ba ban mu yesa na amani bi NDC fo nso aba wo mo so eye wuhuru ni se ebia mu breso dia mo ye no okwan bi so na sesa mo ye NDC fo dia mo ye ni sesei no nyina so nti so mo ye no eye so mo ye sanse obusapan mu nkokasa no oma instances ahudo bi na examples ahudo bi osisu se eno kora betuma hye party chitafo na bufuo ama ma ye dia mo eye no ma mintie wo so dia wo kafa sase mu se madu eda anim
yo me da se ofa e dia mecha na machia menuanom panelist say wa ha nyina na machia tiefo nso ni ahwefo ba bia omo wo bia na ofa ase we ya na misri na NDC fo anka nche say nyama bi kobone nti omo ba be reset ana meboa
yeah
na dia enye na wo ba be reset no afi de wa hye mukutu pankora ma sese de wo se wo be ye ne yie no kura de wa afi de adan ahyehye ne isifo ne ama ahyehye ne wa party office ne ama ahyehye reset ni say ye tu Ghana fo ye ka kire Ghana fo say NDC fo e ka kire say ye ba be reviewer edibonina ye ba be reset wa ka kire say Ghana ye nkwala no omo aduane a omo di wo school no anda Akufo-Addo enye sa hu letter na ba ye no 7 cities yɛmfa nkɔwɔ fufuo ne akranteɛ na mma nkwala no anopa wie anwumre na day students no 3 cities anopa 1 city awia 1 city anwumre 1 city reset no sɛ ɔmo nti aseɛ no a me de meti aseɛ enye yie nanso ɔmo na ɔmo abɛhyɛ Ghana fo bɔ me niama a wɔkan nyina na enye nokora me ameti ha me a good example of what they are saying. Me the National Youth Employment Program the mo friend why in no me the na me ye wo ho no me na me hyehyɛ me ankasa they can the TV so why I will say the internship arm of National Youth Employment Program now no ka frɛ na ka I did it. Your team and you set it up with when the NDC guys came. That crew na your friend and say, hey, Master, yes, say Momo your MPP for the motion na mo nsi. This is something a yeni ankasa yetna ase a ye hyehyɛ ya ye nim se beboa Ghana mabunu. Programs aba nyina de atumi anya nan ya gina so. A ɛwɔ hɔ ene a ene omu nyina ebogi so obi apɛ hɔ akɔyɛ adwuma a ye ko hu baako. The National Youth Employment Program, as I say, your friend, why? But omu uka no more site say kanino muyebi. Munchire mu examples of my nyina no where after handing over, there you say abronya num koji car was ministers any MDC impending for more free office. That's ukura ni official vehicle. Media minimum no unless anybody can prove. Time MPP mrantie ne mabawa eko take you. I'm not justifying it, but as I say, chirima Ghana for etiasie. Womu mu call Jubilee House na ye say omu call two presinia no ye juma wo ho data. No omu take office. Politics ni ye. Politics is a question of trust. Me ti say they all raise about Fifi Boafo. So Fifi Boafo or your public servant, I be a wafa through the process is no more fun wa. Meaning, say bia or no or your MPP ni or your Juma woho as an employee of Cocoa Board. But so your government appointee. Nana Kwa Akufo-Addo Ghana Mampeni that wa catch all his appointees. Me, I saw that when he say Obia uye political appointee bia no se na ban no eba wie ya. Or new ena echo. Everybody knew. Everybody knew. Entino saw your political appointee. Me te ha mean to mean there or your political appointee and now dear yafa na juma mu ebi a wa call interview now I go through maybe a public services commission and now him no more interview no more fa na dia fine. Ebi mpo no arrive wo ho as government appointee. But wa kwa akoye ni niama ye ni nhihye na yafa na juma. Me I can't tell. But me yes, I will never sit down for you to come and chase me out. Me on one of our platforms, me made it to say, me ntiasie say, ya mami ejuma, I wa buy me a government appointee, ya mami dying. Na me ejuma na bawie ye, na dying na ye de mami say me mfa nya ejuma na me da so team. I don't believe it should happen like that. Because obin so aba, yemfa say we are chief executive officer of the company. Say I appointed chief executive officer foforo. No, so those things are understandable. Say ebia baby awutino fofraba. Me see NDC abam there was an NDC minister, the honorable one called those days. It was Ministry of Employment. Now you appointed E.T. Mensah. Now the previous minister kept coming to. I'm telling you, E.T. Mensah walked to the office and almost virtually walked the man out. It was NDC to NDC, and I don't see why. It shouldn't be so. Say you appointed minister foforo. Ebi ano watching now. You know so open time about office about be chere dey obey to me aye. Nti unto me ntena ho. Yeah, once our appointment na end. Nti who da so ti aban ka mu. As at the time a new government are taking over, who appointment na end. Na say ye ba be yire oni ye gi free won semo. I don't see why I should even be driving that car in the first place. And I want kasa, you have no legitimacy driving that car. Dear one nti saa nneɛma we no wanhwɛ ne yi a wobɛka de afra wo mo de yi a mo yi ti sɛ obi a asɛm no ɛyɛ na ɛkɔdane saa na ne ka akɔyɛ den bɛ yɛnhwɛ yɛn nuanom yi a ɔmo kɔhwere ɔmo nkwa ɛwɔ boase sɛ bi a ɔmo fa akwan papa so ɛna ɔmo aban no ɛhwɛ wɔ mo ɛna fa akwan papa so pɛ concession ma wɔ mo sɛ mo nkɔ yɛ adwuma sɛ bi anka yɛn nuanom yi a ɔhwere ɔmo nkwa ana meboa Owura Akufo-Addo sorry or can or my me say NDC4 should go and apologize to that man. Makano the whole week, Makano on every platform I'm on him the intra. Or can say Ghana for mabunu 4 million or pipin 9. Eye juma in the mining sector. Yen to me sorry dark room ka say mu yire ne mu ma no me see there baby Akufo-Addo can say Ghana for wo mu a omu wo mines no. That statement now you know say yen to me nkoso nya ne sa no. Go and listen to the video. O say me gidi say mu wo yire no ne ma. Mu wo mu a mu hwe wo mu they are breadwinners. Wo mu a free mu yi. O mu wo yire ne ma o.
Ye baba so.
Ya mpa kwan papa so. Amfa wo mu amfa so a bibi besi inti o se mu nka wo mu mom na yempe asase ne bi ma wo mu nananu mu asase o mu adidi so ache no no ode ma wo mu no ade na NDC for anka amfa ho sa community mining who accept na make because we kept saying that there are over 4 million people in the sector
sa community mining
say wo kopamu wo mu nyina free ho enye wo mu a omudi boni na make o but yama na ntete na yama na akade na yama na nyama onfa nya sa nkrofo
community mining aka wasam yi me
say me no ya table
amwatia osaje for amwatia for penny e kan say community mining na yesi ye dey aba no
glorified
yes
say no
sector minister national security minister kandapa na someone kan say sa community man na yesi ye no enye Ghana for na enye community ni na ye na mo no foreigners na ye bi dodo na na ye say ye ntino edi ni da so but in reality no wo ma so mo ye ni say so mo ye say na me ni no enye de mo de na se ye bebe no so na mo topic dey discuss
ye beba ho
enye na dwen yo pani onu ni ba mo ti no ka
onu opani no se wo mo a ye nuanum ye omo ahwere omo nkwan wo mo omo ahwere omo nkwan Togo for Burkina for Afghanistan for nti mame fa no nto obede me ka akosia ne se NDC for to trust them omo ye no obia cannot justify it na me nua akasa no okana no se oni omo nya adwen na wa ma reason why they can do it NDC ni bia oni nika say omo se MPP for na e say no omo ko break into a warehouse omo ko swa money fertilizer ni niama omo se MPP for omo ko wia niama yes MPP for na wia anti ye ko bo ho ban say amene wo kasai MPP for na ye MPP for na ko she NDC party office
ko wia na ma wai
na wo ko warehouse watermale wanti aprosi for gina ho a ko break warehouse a etwi niama ne omo dia buffer stock warehouse na ko mu na ya NDC for no a wo ho na omo dia
ntomu wia ai
ade anya wo de wa ko break into a warehouse na wa ko yi niama no na prosi for be de wo ho gina wa hu video ni bi na prosi ni na wa ka che se twon na meba na oso eniama ye de o man yi sika na ekoto ye ne dia say NDC for dia na omo afa na wo fa wo for aso say omo nko na omo nko break warehouse dia free china akọ no obeti mo omo be break mo be say ye nyina ye betra ha na ye condemn ni e ka say de mu ye yenye ya to aba amam obi anka say mo anwi ni aba no ana meboa na say owura na ya to aba ama no na ye mampani na nkasa entumi anka nkire brante ne say mudi tumi ahye mensa munya abotre na onu di okan ya ni say munjai na say mo enjai a ene na say gise me ma prosifo that no ye party no presidential party no presidency ono wanti di okan ye it was complete failure on the side of the president say o mampani a yedi tumi ahye wonsa niama bi koso a di omani nya emboa oman no ade we omuye wo fa unji ni say ebetumi di okun aba oman yi say MPP for wo ho na MPP party office na wo Ablekuma North na NDC for atu ahye ho no mo askata niama no mo asai ho nyina it is MPP for no so sorry asem every day I say it akoya say MPP for no say okay ye mamra nya adwuma say onim MPP for no say de ye niama ye mam ye mfa mra kwan so ye nko court ye ma court nkasa na say MPP for na wo atu ahye o mo party office so na MPP for wo mantem ho so sorry a edien pa na mudwini say besi o mai. And I said it somewhere. Obi a civil servant. Civil servant wa ye adwuma be 30 years. Oda so fro ni trotro. Wa oguye ma wo for appointment china u VAT assured. U fie papa bi a obedem, u niama papa bi e beba u side because you are a political appointee. but onu civil servant na wa ye adwuma 20-30 years or da so fro ni trotro court na hodin or try ni pension bi or co pension wa gini 200-300 a month no wako lock in the office say ompie na wo wa ban aba power enti no onu mpie na wo bra be ye adwuma no eno na mo promise Ghana for mo promise Ghana for say ye ba na adwuma ba akokra nipa miensa ye ba ma adwuma buso ama wo a wo ye bi no kura no afi wo betumi aye mienu miensa enye bossa mo de share ye ni na ofa ba ni say na afi mi a me ye me papapa bi a me didi afi de me mpie na wo bra betnase bossa ni ni
obi ni meeting common Monday edwada etwem na no edwuma koko board Osi Abasi Sambaya no a director from 2017 to 2023 September. On mane dane se sebe akwada bi e wadwuma mu ho. Ni di bre hye ne nsa no. Ye pia no koto ba bi ma obi hye na se e no report de ma no. It's from 2017 up to September 2023 no. Na so ye director the directorship position no. Amana ba famu a ma say even though title ne da no so na so ntumi nya bibia omtumi nya bibia enti sadi ayeyi no because say yesusu say onipa ne party A B no ekoso sama obi o wonim die no so ehunu obetumi de abo oman no ontumi fa mo oman no enti for no si 1 minute amenko uni ana muso na fe
humanity ho in London ye namfofo a ye ne omo etena ho aye bae me call back na me ko ka che me namfofo no bebre say mumbra na Ghana ye kama every single one who came has gone back but me am my list enim say man crofo ka ho what did America every single one who came during the MPP era had gone back. These are Ghanaians omu nyina akọ abrochire akọ akosua ade omu wo nimdie wa nya nimdie bi every single one I know nansa ya me ne ba akọ kasa onu kra de akọ akotena Canada. He is a big guy in the banking sector in Canada. Oduadonya me say masa he's not coming. Into the American questions about maybe sa asemansa na wa move. Dia niama wubu boss we nyina eye papa. Say obi ye adwuma aban assistant onye useless e wa adwuma mu eye papa. O maybe sa aboa me.
Say nkomo na de kan asem.
Dia taso mienu esese ekoso obi aye no obi aye no obi aye no obi aye. They say I gave you my example in Dabenamba 3 weeks ago, right? Because just say me that o mu baaye no na o mu se de wo ye no mu ye ni nyina yaje mo de mo nko but nipa okoye sa de na o mu je de me ye na o pese ye jima no o yare ye obi fra me ka chem sa brantie ni yare me se nti wo nua nipa pa yare na wa fra me a wo sresre sa no. It cannot continue.
Okay.
So the Americans say they want to reset the country. They don't want to plunge us into a worse one. Into Bosha or share, the first 2 weeks of governance were exhibiting complete and total incompetence. He is not able to tell his own people, stop. Now, me na mudi to me asha mensa. Me ya from John Dramani Mahama. Dia mo pen ye be ya mana ye fe. He cannot tell them.
Now, what GRE no now kasama ji o ye communication ma GRE.
Yes.
But the same time, so your party communication.
Me ya majuma. No.
Meba. Ebra na what GRE no. Now o your communication. Ema GRE. That the same time, so now your party communication.
Me ya no GRE. I'm not a GRE employee.
Now who has what?
Na me project na ye no. Na me I speak for my project. Inti many GRE ye collaboration. And I'm not an employee. I've never been an employee.
But not pay for who na be kasa ma GRE.
And American na me nye GRE employee. Inti I say of Agya Kwabena oti hoi. Now there is a project. Now you say you are a communication person for the project. So we are not GRE employees. Okay. I was never a GRE employee.
But I say, my solo. If you solo, I want me to be brave. Oh, that will be many GRE Jumada. Only one when you Jumada na pay. What bar pay?
And America say, me
on behalf of
GRE.
On behalf
so
of GRE.
I speak for the project, not for GRE.
But GRE for the chia. Mona debi meba. Ono moto eta ma be kasa na say mona moto eta.
No, GRE for ekoye communication because the project is under GRE. And na yen ye kasa FM. Ti yen kasa ye to yen eta.
I want the platform na o kasa also no. O kasa as
as a project the communication person for the project
but not for GRE. Me what GRE for never talk.
GRE for ena eye ehwe adwuma no so.
Okay, me that's it. Solo.
Of person odifa
Kofi a onsan kobo video nti etie se oba ebeju asem atumo
GRE ntuame GRE man appointment
office obe kasa wi a that's from so ba what they be hold you responsible enye GRE they be hold you responsible e dey say na nieke
me say who run project won ti ase obe kasa obi
you see for kasa solo one gakrage
solo de nyina ka me say ade no kwa na ekọ ena onipa no so ade no moye no e ka me say parties how do me no nyina no does it with impunity.
Absolutely.
Because me ntiase say ya yeti fie ye fa na say ye wo fie po ye adwuma ofie hai me ne adwuma ko ye adwuma me ka fedo do me ne despite media ye adwuma abe onwa since 2003.
Yes.
And I'm despite media ye adwuma me adwuma nyina awie me nye yen kan say me nye management member ebi obi eba o machi wo chi obe management member asese ha me ensam ha me madwuma be ye no eno na me ye se hu hia se bi adwuma ko no hia me moa ana se bi hema futuo ni madwen kire bi a wo me fra ma be kire madwene but the come say parties how do me no NDC ni MPP obi ababa bia no party na chitafo manu look as if say whoever our party fufuro mu a owo di brebi no should sit baby yini fro no mu nipa mra ya ba na aba ya ba na aba ya je man ya ba na aba ene adidi mu abedo baby aduri so lo gidi say asoman e de ne be de fa sase mu say egu ya ni mu asepa 10 minutes
the bet my men chia movement for change for your ala jamate so chia o
so
ochia mo a moko mo be join the opposition so mo so amaba be mo ya chia mo senior abana ye de bo tachi no mo be gi no pepe but yan kwa de be twa kan Ghana asem ala de mo munni mura tapidi so be twa ka bi esa zenre ya na o defend isem no ene oba be attack emfa the woman say ye kwa battle me betena via ka kiro say NDC MPP omunye solution for Ghana but that time na airwaves na polarize ye can o there be bokrade the bend na independent ba ye ne ye ka kiro mo say sanko for me e ya tani ata ade PS kromu ha o ye tumi aya ma scratch your back let me scratch your back so occultism NED nya party na angase mu no ye sanso wo inner clicker NDC for no e wo mo set of guys e wo MPP ti we no ba no be wia no be ahwe we mu
serious allegation
I am telling you truth unless I no pe won pe no kre na kanya mi adwena che wo de tie dia make there is nothing allegation nya na tukomu
na e bi no also bi no wia o ha no da ko hwe we no won mo wia no da be hwe
wo mu wia we no wa busa ho se wo no mo opposition a ever na o munye ska yo mu campaign onye factory onye industry onye toneton enso de bia no te kemu ufiri akota male koye campaign ba oni ne bo so omo chesika ma party functionaries ni ato aba mo ya omo nyesika no 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 so ba no ma be hwa and it is a me na me wi na o se hwa nye prosecute obi a wan ye be prosecute no and into ora ya ba ya gidigidi ona no ba gidigidi ora yi the champion nye na woko foreign affairs to kuja to korora no nwi Kofi Boacha no she mongose presidency enwi dom levo twene de ye ya pe be di Martin Pebuache finito e be die natural death and no ni ade ya ka che Ghana for say enkofo use politics no as a way a means of getting employment unemployed people yan ko se political party achi ya bamba ya ne abenya aduma yes ana eko ene ti utie de eko so afutu na omsi Kofi Annan a contest ya bei wa ma afenyo close marking o ba na o cha o so ma Kofi Annan bi na Kofi Annan nya na chichafo be ne wadidi omo nye businessman enti yan ko back ni enhwe ye political structure na ye no ha no ye nto abama do mama se no no me fifa NDC fo ngo an so if is NDC fo ngo no be fo no be ja na me ntwa to bio an fa NDC fo to ngo ya adwuma no so long as me to and oba beje ebusua beni mo go to ben to gutin to adade to no obeja ya adwuma no de also ya so appoint wo mo betua ya adwuma ebe bo no ankasa aban na so Ghana a population of more than 32 million this year ye di pegu nsani ya kase the best human resource e wono e betua man institutions na won ye yi omu ya na wo de fa emotions to chen won wa ye yi omu sisi ye yesi ye ba bidie nimu aye research aye macroeconomic stability aye galamse hu adwuma e create employment aye wonu na betua esa adwuma
na wo muntu binye
emurade nyame kwesi kodan 6 months time the value will be the same mo be ba hwe but the head get say am great transformational plan be solutions ni nyina wo so mo hwe no mu diso abetu abo mo kakra because any rocket science
it wo ye more position abaje
one position
ye mo di bre wa men mo abaje
dabe me boa Ghana me
dabi ye nim say wo di
me businessman me I'm not a public person
so with your business knowledge no na se fu se betu di akọ
and so bi ma mi obi do mama me throw me proposal dia kwa kwagye me de e ma ni no gwa dia o
akọje position
me kwagye bi business wa ban mi yesi be di agro ha na Ghana ni a me tia me Ghana ni na matera na Nigeria for kwa ba beji adwuma ha no mo ye na meto ye ntia na frontiers ye hwemu a ye se ye nya Ghana ni obetumi akwa kwagye akoye covid ho nsem e wo airport agufo na wo president agufo do ha hey what are we talking about no mo beji $94 million in Nigeria for shum ya panko for mo ko fa ambulance e ho ni o ma ba okoro e Ghana di na me kwa go jibi enye e ti be kwa jibi business and there is no wo business bi akọ jibi e you what one dey be your mind so just here but you see political parties must know say ukosebo ko kire saa wo mo down no mo ti di o kana si o di onu man say wa ba ka kire de say oba menya adwuma wa wie na wa ba wo fa adwuma ne ma afra wo be down za mba so awo dem so mo meje adwuma ne free o ma benu jo ma o se le bi obi ahon be dey e beto no na wo ka bibi se omo ya appoint to omo no ade ya omo ni members na the two political parties I can tell omo ni database of their members take it from me omo ni ye buy ya launch online application ya data to any given task ye major Kwabena position or movement for change more be person me wan ask ma call your database me hu omo ni bi and to be tian mo ha papa show wan kan this assembly the office onye ndc ni enso e bia na otua ogi free ha no dia come we come expose omo but you see abuja beli na also position dey ma obi there asemo abusia penie ba be kasa na tini ho atitia yayi ye twa position ye mo ni di ye mfra de bo obi ti baabi won ka bi dantua bi da ni nua bam ye yama no na fi se ni brema ani ti me de mi fi se ye nyi ye ntwe ho mfra ho na ye mfa merit based system emra
ebinim kasa ebinim hye eno mu influence appointment no
of course
eno nti no the right people eso munya no ye mfa ma wo mu
ko jubilee asko he aya pere uni come for how you lie and go for who be o so mo lobby fa me can the reality natural and there are more people who are them because of appointment because woman na agi NDC esi omo emeti and ezu eza na eyezazu no zuza ba na mi nya adwuma na obi anim se community na otumu na wudi animu na sra hye dem officer ho na be fiu mind you time na opposition the ohie obi a obetwe hu mobo ama bibi one of the problems are yeni emu bi nya ya brand bibi ba power abra ne yeni nya kapere ni wo mu no eno no Maybe NDC, MBB, me and MBB one city crowd there, and I'm happy to say it. Such as say, but maybe to be baby, no, maybe constituency Okakwe South. Not today. Almost sorry, Obi Tipano and Obi Mr. Usu. Obi Winnie, Mr. Usu. Na ya do esa edu baby na se da na kwasi ado eni we nya me kwa evangelist me twe me ho to ato no because me am benefit obi a no to so kura no a o se nko o benefit be hwe wo mo ofom no wo no ye watena so enti go fu wo dem pa me ne o ka se na ye data business ya na so be business ya NDC lose close to 15% of their membership. Take it from me already. Yes, on appointment alone. And go for Abemo immediately. I'm telling you. About reality.
But should it be so?
It shouldn't be so.
Say no be the break.
Absolutely. And not tell you now say ko economy ni no. Say adwuma wo man ni mu a. Officer go for be na tawa ko di appointees achi. Ba ni pon oni adwuma. Ya bei, ya mfa nyoma e besi suwo no mu aboa ma o man na ko na ni mu. Ye baby play to the gallery. Politics not ye baby. Because metie we finance minister interview vetting. But who the policy direction be a baby diversify the base of the economy a betumi aba aboa ma nyuma na ba. Se koko any go dia na die ni ba beto so dia ene eja we will be worse off. Se ya mfa nyoma ni bia nka ho government and Texas yamfa automobile no amemu ye pharmaceutical ye creme no bebre no ya anya ni ye ya anya oil vegetable oil no okrom ha ya process ye bauxite iron and manganese no ha na ye ntumi anya electronics ni bi wo ha no mu a na ye say goko ni gold ya we are not going to go anywhere. If say koko ye mbra kra na akoye syndicated loan krono nti kwabna na ekwa akoto koko in cities no akobo dollar besia. Now the COVID by who's a Bank of Ghana to be bought Ghana government $10 billion Ghana cedis Besiana. It is here called GBC Bank of Ghana cedis near the Koto Koko cedis are near the Koton dollars are yes can by a chrono. So yes, it's also a second topic here, Galam say. Yabaho. And Nippon tip man, no, a business or when you the same set of developmental agenda. NDC MPP Duka there is nothing different. It is what you want to say. Where we school now try yesterday research. One or research maybe 24-hour economy. Eddie and say you know. Yes, 24-hour economy. Because I appoint one advisor. But now what did you? Now the Bakubia me take kura me yemu shame me kura ne Minister of State in charge of climatic and the climate change and sustain. Climate change at top branca so this guy ko in one frame no. Mo dey mo appoint mu minister wa. Na wo Ghana skase na ko climate change no.
Be da sisolo.
Eja Agyagu.
Mami ko ben so ye ba na be ko ye be security aspect one ya. E ko so yun ti no. Mo fa nche me. Sorry Ben. Come here say nkoma ye die no ho I say abufu shebi ewo enkrofo mu ewo de mo ye because wo share de esi ewo afutu yi a afutu de esi yi no utumi hunu ni say enya di ankese say it's like utie Kofi Anan nkoma ye die na o say enya de na o man adwene say bi a wo mo ekọ onko yi basabasa ba press conference no mu na so mbabe na wo hwe say na manfo ye na Sese no womo enko opposition so womo ko party nankasa eso e dey na kire yen okay
I think that problem we now lack of education of political party base and also lack of information flow. Sebia yebema party base na hu yebotaye ene de yepese. I think that the NDC failed and maybe MPP so nkomo bayanka the same thing could have happened. Omo failed in properly educating omo members no on their manifesto. Because what she boss obema 60 no So oko pepe crow parliament at least 137. And 137 no. Majority no be free parliament. Dey ba nya dodo na be free parliament. Nti enye obi a na benya. We have 16 regions in Ghana. Nti e say uma obase no hu say minia ade ne mine ebe ye ni ye enye ankrankre. Nti se mine ebe ni ye a ye pe wona ye ne omo ye mine ye a ebe boy nyina. Nti se wanya bi kra na ka hu say ye mine ye a ebi be so because the entire automa party ni say ye be mine ye. But because of say yen educate ye base ni ye na ye ma ye base na hu say ye we ne nko ade a ye benya adwuma ye. Ye we ne nko ade a ye hi ayo no be so betwa. Ye we ne nko ade a bibia epe okrom ha bia yen sabeka because ya ban na aba. Say uma o party member no nya sa adwen na abri bia Agya Kwabena. Some of this chaos will okay because tie the AC oboele na the AC oboele nkra na me say oboele mo manya the whole president. The whole president too modia. Na mo say mwanya minister ntimo say niema. Like it doesn't make sense. But I don't blame them because your politics na ekrom ano. I say asofudi aba. And I say chacha ato. Etuma wa ato ama. Ndi so we ni a wo pese bibia ye wo dia. Say ade na nya wo dia e wo say bibi. But I'm glad. I think most of them are also positive. Say almost say public access. I think they are almost party access. And almost say ne bia na da ache no. Ya isika ni bi no media sa ko si dia and e be hardware. But I think we need to educate our members and inform them of our decisions and reasons why decisions need to take sad decisions no. Now the other part no so Agya Kwabena be can say I think that appointments also be consultations were not properly done. And yes we tete say ebinim ho a yekoto. Right? Oh yeah, appointments no yes yeto. Yes say yanya kuo bi o moti ba bi a umodu na wotam de koma yetimi di mawo.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think that's a no crest appointment yeto a omunyai. Say no crest or motor appointment now, they should stop. Right? A bit more say president is not even aware of it. But unfortunately, chia omuji millions of dollars, millions of cedis, na dia come on kosheho. It's very very bad. Ya tete say no credit sadia Agya Kwabena also buja because say uji sika e appointee obi. Na say one consult to grassroots ni a. These agitations where ekosu and one because and unya peace of mind to even work. For example, me dey na yi NCA man we say ye can say appointee. Platform bia me hu NDC platform bia like me hwe say radio gold na me hwe say bia Accra FM so mo ye quite NDC kakra. But bia me hwe bia no they are against this man. He will not even have the peace of mind to work.
Why was it fire NDC? Radio gold Accra FM.
Yes, they are not even giving the man the peace of work mind that's what be na djuma.
No. Sa appointment na mo ye no. Minimum ade. Say if truly say onipa na omode na eba no enye party ni mpo a mampani say all inclusive government and so nipa no nimde no betumi de aboa ade na ye man nye na dwon no fa moa na yen kwa say bia isusu so party B party C ni.
Yeah, inclusivity no Agya Kwabena no crest inclusive government. We see but parties have principles and have ideologies. And okoye leader or any organization sanka man bi so a o the party no principle ni ideology na ko. Ndi se oni obi de ebo abira eni kwan so oba ho because ono entimo de na se. And these are the information in education I was say oh bia man we also the reverend Fianco Renchi yeah so a pastor right but mean I abuja panyini nsem do ha see I was say radio go for so other radio stations still say bia the man acted on employee on delegation and also on authority bia enye ne pe
Debbie meba na Agya ma memre mu ha you see yeti bia wo UTV and I'm Ghana Police Service obetumi me command you know they move by structure in the command asuma me say menko effective arrest and I menko close down baby me attitude the way I make handle ade na fa no me say be a professional and now say me a party police. The man went there as a party officer.
Again no mo man gina so the case of party officer.
No to be ya de ka chance masa. Munya ne tentem muntutu ade ne muntutu ne ko ye penteme fia ko. how professional manager Agya Kwabena dey maybe asa authority member
police na ya asma na so mbe
omechiro
so mechiro
chiri do
entafo kakra ni penny no kakra ni police ni na penny no n'adwuma na yesi penny no bi asem bi asi na so kakra ni so penny ni mra yes so koche
but say handle so ti ase ye nu kura pono
it depends on your
Samuja also free no kwa obetu you should have to close other stations
wait obekro
so make no the person make kind sometimes delegation adwuma yesi koye untimi kasa onye ne yawo akoye nti ye wo say manage ye kasa na se bia ase ono na ahyeda na abo apayo bi na wako close radio go down bia na authority na free bi ba no ono kura so esu na adwuma so wan koye anka bia yi na di so ye wo say hwe ni yezo now the other part of the account say na obi kan cocoa board asem say fifi buafo I think that was say ye hwekra bia na senior dade information whether time oja cocoa board edikodi na poachi no is it that he took leave
no the question
yeah sure
right
I don't have that
oh but you are closer senior
authority
either so or the leave and the koka na pohun de koye adwuma no a owie ya osan ba
na po adwuma na ye aban adwuma na say dey
oh enya no party say party adwuma nti say party adwuma bia o leave without pay say me kwa support we are mesan back right but say when you leave without pay na say ono ko support try say na we lose I think that the right thing for some of them to do is to quit.
They shouldn't even wait.
Don't go there. I think
I can mention it. I don't want to. I know people who just resign because he knows that Obi Babete.
Kofi Juma si onko. Ojo onko ti wa dey say.
Kofi Juma o ka say
Ojo onko.
Kofi Juma say Allah you foolish. He overstayed foolishly and he was sacked foolishly.
So I think that Fifi so the
way I want
because so I'm through Fifi and through ultimately nyaduma because no publicly obi anim so MPP ni right and obi anim so MPP no ye nim say ekrom ha your governance structure is politically based. It's not a state-led governance structure. O party lusu a wafiri mu party for na aba o party for na aba no obi a oye adwuma ho bi se ne na wo kase obi say 2017 ne promotion ni bibia ya delay ya amfa ma no ni party e ba obe for so say ni promotion de be ma no ni promotion ya de be ma na obe gi ni ho sika na wo fifi bu afo no kra wo no won ti mo anya adwuma se ne opeso ya adwuma because
no na so your public servant
you can
say that the Agya can say what happens in the ministry say you nim say we NDC we boy civil servant nti minister for ba and one say o kotna o side
but you share
I agree with you
but the main argument is that I don't have it
so as a public servant a partisan politics
no but oh yeah and another thing about who say we share your industry I petroleum and maybe energy sector now unim the executive be onu ye adwuma san say o ye adwuma ma no all kono na do ato public payroll
it always happens
say say no you nti wonu MPP na de ba ho woni minister na ye adwuma woni di MC na ye adwuma woni chief executive na ye adwuma you say wonu ye spokesperson munusu ya no na ya sesan e de wa be public officer
it always happens mami ganja o dey train mami 1 minute the what happens is obi wa he enters the business as a contract employee within the process no opportunity back then you attend the interview fine.
So
but there are other things I will
when say you interview
but so me my intern wa half for 3 years na ye fa nipa me need your fear bonte ba no we are not the same
nti eno so no ema ebinom entumi nyom adwuma so fifi bo like this for example at Kokobo me nya so betima na adwuma yi because e dey ani be ba na ho so he omo be hwe no with suspicion information be free ho a o make us own leak information no bibia because at any time obi ani wo ho say wo be leak information e dey ama opposition nti me nka me ne no dia nka me free wo enya ono nkwan so obi bia na owo company bia mu a state own company a perception and I say publicly yeah who say oh yeah other side no one lose no even if you are public servant cry we dey free decision making areas because one free na assembly apia you say is in the day na ko no cry no opposition
automatically they will
yes
omo cry best sideline
obi ti say tiwa baby o de la ko kwa dem obi
Orin kwai.
Tiwa de dankwa so ono ye yoko na no ye CID boss and you promote oyede yoko no man and you na fi yoko so on police back
Send you
There's nothing wrong with that.
Obey police no mu.
She was only on secondment.
okay you say report no say we I find that 3 missing girls now
Oh,
no security
the vindictiveness
mo fra basa yira ana mami ka chenzo wo togo wo nhu no so fa wo mra ya body
I think the fundamental problem we say in solve we say former vice president Eka the fundamentals of the economy no political party education and also funding some of these issues are bobo sinyina no is because state no fund the political party so source of funding to businessmen is funding businessmen so fund the political party omo na determine nipa ba bi won also kwa so on mine was say political funding very very critical make I say those days na me politics kakra Emmanuel Akweti IDEC doctor na the bi o ma shia on political funding state funding of political parties make I McManu on each occasion be shia no oboguye or say any say state fund the political parties then time na say dun katia opposition yes no no so aba because na say dun katia support to say state e be fund the political parties nti ono by the yes no omo hwe so be state fund the political parties because say state fund the political parties anka bia me solution yi anka omo we ni ye
we need quick
anka movement for change everything
candidates under one ballot issue can there was no way Allah and we need silence you this is start price here
no any question because at East Legon IDEC meetings McManu ebogu abribia because on net here I said Katia was for it na I said you aba honorable yesrew and was say ye how we fund our political party and no crime make me check some of these corruptions because any appointments bad appointments
me that's it yema when are your security aspect you share sa political vandalism ekoso say ya to abawie manya di brewa ha manyewe ntino ebinom SSA oman niema for all you know no bia na sa de ekoso ekura no de akoso abesen ko ne de ekoso ekura no nipa share chirem ebinom dodo mom kokko ekura no they might not be party people obi na share no esa enti de akoso no ugidi say entumi nkonkoba say ebema nipa bonfo bi kura be fa kwan bi so aye niam bi e be wi ase no for instance yen hwe yen security installations how the name how do be to say VRA akosombo ne agbaze tema planting asifo na tititi say nipa bi kura ka say ato aba wi enti no yen ya wi ni na nipa bonfo bi afa akire akose niam bi o be wi say party A party B omu wi ni election no omu crofo and about security aspect on the ekoso yi no mama be 7 minutes na fi yenko san foforo so
yo jami dase mami fa wa fidi sunna ncha ne production team and my colleagues especially in Saturday na many student leaders at our time it's a long time I've seen him. The last time I heard of him was in the UK and yes our TV sunna ya hono. And second, my main for fidi suna share me papa share ni Yona. He lost the step sister yesterday. Papa is a man of peace. Mokaya dagbon ni papa na ya na omo medano no. Onu be regent for 13 good years. And when he was regent, there was not any form of violence in the north. And he's one of the unsung heroes. Peace eba dagbon and you know anka peace emba dagbon because onu na see you omuko oracle ko you know omu selecting as the year nurse in Debbie oni nana intimate pray akonjanso nti omunfa akunja no ma ne nana. I was thinking that national awards omumaya no nka omumanu bi. Nti I'm praying that they should go back and look at how, because I was the peace consultant to the Dagbon crisis. I was in and out of it. So me Papa Yona, what for me to say ba?
Okay.
I'm who I am today because of that man. You may not understand, but I know what I'm talking about. Me Shenide. Eja NDC in government. Me feel say they're embarrassing the president, to say it frankly, because enungwase na mudi ba mumampenyi, because all kinds of research Ghana and Ghana for all of us. Na ese political parties omu who say NDC members nkwa me ma NDC mba abamu. And I say MPP members nkwa me ma MPP mba abamu. There's always the kingmakers, you're from floating voters. And Nema air no, how many months or days have you come to Abai? And the politics of equalization, say we are yebi, misumbe yebi no, ediye dikohi. The security implications are enormous. But fortunately for us, installations are they are fortified by security 24/7. Okay. Because Untimin have access to Akusobo Dam and other critical security installations. But the Okayano, more often than not, Nkrofo mo feel say omo koye basa no be fear juma no no benya akunja na ko tena hono. Omu na ye nkrofo omu ta echi a omu disa nkwesi asem. And ade bi nso na NDC ya edimu ya okakra, because un say ministers na not yet in place. Enti ube select CEOs na, you have to consult the sector minister whether the sector minister can work with the person or otherwise. Yeah. Un so ma select CEOs ni na yiwe. In acting capacity.
Acting capacity, yeah.
Yeah. And I think this is the first of its kind. We share the other administrations are mostly they will put ministers in place before Omaba CEOs. If you share deputy ministers, deputy ministers. Because I saw Yaira, National Identification Authority, the way are not all policy workers around. It was not a good posture. And Adia Bakunsa, security wise, and say the youth of this country may who say, oh, you'll be a obetimat na radio so, and answer TV so, no obetimat dimpenny for your opponent at Tema, they reward you. Oh, share appointments or more amana. All the key communication people of the NDC have been given appointment. Me dear. My name say, your Papa John Mahama, they also obey no bit my. But the party has to help him on or your nipa bako. Just like the case of a minister coming for swearing in one bantem. And he didn't swear the woman in. That is a good start. Ebimuye other arguments so onje jumane finisem because their president okay Moses Asaga oko finance ministry oko sign bibisa ne na kransi but mbesre on behalf of women in Ghana say Oyoba, and we want to encourage women into leadership. And as a human institution, some of these things happen. My name say, she has learned. But to take that radical action, so many feel how they are thinking it to be too harsh. Way forward, we need reforms. And luckily, NDC have overwhelming majority. They have the capacity to bring legal reforms to forestall some of these things. Kwabena minka bi ade akoye winner take all. They say ni. na make sure say ye na free your constitution mo enye sa baby aye democracy kono emboaye because we US mpo a omo institutions here adwuma a radical president like Donald Trump by the oye and okay somebody say Yara Mama appointed minister in charge of environmental blah. Donald Trump has given executive power over all those things, so funding will be a serious challenge.
That's what I say.
And there's another thing here. If we are going to rely on gold, cocoa and this thing, Donald Trump has brought executive power on tariffs while imposing on China Canada and other countries. Oshenswa, you an arrangement with the United States government, Agwa.
Yeah.
Where you bet my export your goods, Ako Amanoni in the US for free. It ends this year. And I'm not sure Donald Trump is going to renew it. Yeah. So there are a lot of challenges on so many fronts. And NDC for Omon Kaina who say the overwhelming majority of Ghana for their share Omunsano is a responsibility kasi no omu idea to omuso. And to omu be politics as usual. No omu be chesu bia out. So nye NDC near. Then how are we going to run a country like this? To say me a Ghana ni me tax. If I qualify for a job, why not? For the fact that me nye NDC ni, me nye juma. What happens to our institutions? And look, institutions that bet market says say any institutions bia. We share all your state institutions are politicians na head. So because of that profitability in the share ECG for instance. Look at the debt. ECG. I hear so Yabeka was home over the privatization. Intermediate. You share a constitution like I said. Now yem for papantu ye. Then we can empower our technocrats. The omu yes is here no. Say your directors are all these government agencies. Couldn't they have acted for a period to get the ministers in place before all these appointments? And like you mentioned, Omunkai who say appointments already they've lost a percentage of their supporters. The Omanyano, they'll sit back.
I mean, Andrew Crown, ye per quorum of parliament.
Yeah.
NBC baby, where's 185?
183.
Yeah, penny palm yet no capal.
It was a shame. I think they need to look at these things carefully. Now, many in your politics as usual. Me who say a comedy do watch 8 years. But why should the state be the avenue? What should easy? Why should you be hungry? Other than a comedy do. Once your government is not in power, and say something is not happening right.
Governance system,
yes, security agencies, alcohol, pressure, security, and mamiti wakoye, and it was to be expected. But you see, this is a fine police woman, and because of media propaganda on this lady, she has not had her fair share of what to say in the media space. Obi betnasi no become mami as I know mami too personally. Her professionalism, you cannot doubt it. Sure, Oko Yoko reforms or the Aba Yoko.
A statue.
Go and ask the workers of Yoko say mami too about her in the last 3 years. Oko Krano Musu. Go and see. The only thing I was not happy in status or Omuye Mano. And I registered my displeasure because once you are a serving officer, no, there's no way status happening. But maybe it was a surprise. And you see, overzealous workers can do that. I'm not holding any brief for her. But look, Tekradi girls and Selma or the buying. Mamin can't show a propaganda.
From her side of
no
where
within the service, because no one who said the woman was rising so fast. and could even become the next IGP. When you say that very incident in the IGP, nka mamitu wa na IGP. Nsam bi wo ha yentimi ntina TV so na ya ka
ehwo bi so wa na adwene obeka
so allow him to express
no you express your but that's your let the list magari of who say
against you and they are working against you. How possible that you were able to organize press conference without you being gun putting on your neck?
Yes.
Say caucus as we say keep on keeping hope or whatever. The three girls have been found. They are just around Togo here.
Look,
how could you say such a thing?
I wouldn't have divorced this information. By your opinion, no.
Yes.
Obia who say your opinion, no man fan say anything. No, on authority no. That is say we CID boss our microphone we ejuma. And you no ankasa na ekoho. Ni team na ekoho no man no that information.
Many say she was
confident.
So was misled. More
Castro Castro does it mean
and to say if she was misled by
who?
So nipa beba ehwo say no kwese ye dada no yan kan no kran kire no be kan
no dada o
o man kan no kran kire no
yes
and no be kan de o ka kire na ebe wi ase na nya no kra nipa na e dada no ade na say nipa na ya twa o maso mo say hu say asemesi are supposed to give such information no one yet ya mama wi ase nyina hu say o man kan no kran kire me na me so be kan ye me say be ko ba
yes eja okay so who follow this case omo amama me no kwan omo yi ni fi ho okay no quite. Politics look, the politics of we let or we know different. Who share your security institutions in there? Professional.
Okay.
From all the security over here, IGP Beko, CDS Beko, whatever ever had. And yes, Basa, so there should be quite be a befa. Not and for politicization, Amber. Okay. There's one thing MPP here in the military na meaning Juhon. Only for the first time, Ghana Benya 5-star general. In case of that process no for parliament. What I say? Now it will safeguard that prestigious general. But who the map politicians in San Obia Betma so rap our point to be saying there were 5-star general. So about when now we should have an independent review to see that are we up to that speed? If we are, let's bring security sector reform. Now they are there, they are far parliament, and then in Crown, there is some justification. Mimpe, we say Andrea Vetino. I think your marking try to get some justification from Mutaka over state lands.
About you, where did you get the land and building? You're wrong.
What was wrong yesterday cannot be right.
Absolutely. Yes.
And secondly, their oral team, their bano, it didn't follow the right procedure. Osha Constitution now, Uber give up by assassin outer, it has to come to parliament. Did you go to parliament? No. And if you look at key national or state institutions like the Agri Extension Service, private developer near any patriotic citizen, including Adade, should not defend it.
Okay, it's true.
He's not defending it. He's not defending it. I have never supported it.
Yes.
Never in my life.
Okay, me that's
instead of $700,000. What's $60,000 Ghana?
And balance then one.
Yes, the balance. Georgina Wood, the former CJ. I don't know airport lad.
Me that's
for the student hostel.
Me that's it.
No, koto plot no upon a night.
Yeah, share. I could be. Yeah, for some few minutes because you was some back one person capa. They see a parliament and run. Even though you're part of topics we're discussing, say no Abdulkumanov, no business in parliament. The baby say obi yeast in they say this bono and answer parliament said this bono about rebo mo was asam. You briefly now You mama me share some fan through so.
Yo, man, that's it.
Sorry, Ben.
Ben.
I'm like my
Ben.
Yeah.
Me yeah kwanu so yanko ECG some so ansa na yaba power ansam no.
Okay.
You see the honorable John Jinapo atebedwekuo bi a yeso wo mo na emehwe say ECG ye dey be share ankrankrasa privatization of ECG. Ama wate committee bi. Asa committee na pese making kind statement a buy you know but me nya hunu so what
Yeah.
Is that a way forward?
Ubi Sami, yes or no question. So now, yeah. It depends. It depends. Mejidi said, yeah, committee no, establishes over here the viability of privatization and the kind of privatization per se,
okay.
and also engage other stakeholders, including PUW or the consensus. And this is sad. Maybe say committee ni be na juma dia because in modern times, we are not in the policy making any centralized view, right? Untimentina office in kaso a technical person, okay, kind papers ba kumi and sabia. What can we mercy and so young Koni say? I think modern policy formulation is very participatory and very inclusive. Me fairness adi ana minim say edia committee we ebeshia obia ne atwadwen media for opposition obi all concerns bia no ana obi all support bia no obeji obi adwen kire na ye de nhihye papa ebitimi ama ECG afa ntuma fafra. So I think that a nice thing. The reason you see yes a trade paper some say trade paper ma privatization or how we want to look at it. And the reasons why maybe you may consider the privatization or otherwise.
Yeah.
But first of all, in terms of considering it, ECG from 2019, we just did a trend from 2019. Normal total equities, about 8 billion, and now 5 billion, right? Above from every year, no more lose almost 760 million.
What's it 2019? I say?
8 billion.
8 billion.
5 billion.
The 3 billion down.
3 and a half years.
Yeah, the total equity is main fund say or more capital base or more which means diminishing. What that means is
cedis or dollars.
Cedis. What that means is that or more liabilities, the rate of change of liability, higher than the rate of change of assets.
Okay. Yeah, wait, my remember. Now, brand 8 billion. No? Now I say auditor general report says now 10 billion. Now yampa.
Member also where the total equities.
Okay.
Nti offer total equities now, which means investment in that area very minimal, especially more rate of assets change, minimal, and that cannot be efficiency or effectiveness. Okay. So your problem with that. We are no free ones who are over or more financial performance. Babia now the question neighbor financial performance from 2019 to 2023 and also the same thing. I think 2020 is an outlier. Omunya 400 million Ghana cedis bi. But we have more kind of money billion. The billion no and jump poko 8 billion in 2022. But 8 billion no report a state ownership ediaba.
Okay.
The state ownership say in 2022 no net loss of ECG no 8 billion. But auditor general report say 10 billion. So there's even inconsistency with respect to less loss for 2022.
2 billion
The auditor general flag 10 billion, state ownership flag 8 billion. And the 2023, which is the current 2024 the MI. 2023 no so no. Jacob na mo boka 6 billion, almost 6 billion. Nti wo hwe omo a afi wo hwe decline and as profitability na afi bia no ebi be ka ho almost a billion be ka ho in terms of losses. Enya adwuma yie. Now they are called a third part operations nso no nekwa de mate say ebinum born say more operational losses hover around 37%, right? So operational losses, which is basically as a result of system losses, 37%.
Almost half of.
Yes, and to Uganda, for example, Uganda, some of their discos are doing 17%. In Kenya, they are doing 23%. But here, PRC gave a benchmark of 22%. This was 22%. Now, we still no want to meet the benchmark. No, 37. It means that operationally, only wajumai.
There's 50% on Abeka
home. Operationally, won't mean wajumai. So how do we resolve this particular problem? Inti won't mean wajumai. Abribia na wasa buying edis kabishim. Buying so no channel. ne ye ka $3 billion a ye kai wo $3 billion no calculate the ko ye cities no mu a 3 times 14 bia ebinum kra say enye 40 15 so let's even say it's 15 3 times 15 is 45 billion Ghana cedis 45 billion Ghana cedis of an economy that is around 900 billion or even a trillion no that's about 3 to 4% of our GDP and there was we injected says can be answer there was the teacher foka would it obi aka e bia so the mpuntujuma so abai who say ono so face problem of liquidity constraints ono oniska nti se minister yen consider privatization
na privatization e kan wasemi omo ye wo ba ku bi a yemidika kan ho asem kora de ma adwuma ku ni din so 2022 say ye power ye to no 2023 rather power ye to no September 2023 say power ye to no sika no ko ECG ho straight direct anase kofa ba bia ansa na akodu ECG ana ampani ampa ni nuane ampa ebeba se wadwuma ku a wo mo na ejiji sika no ma ECG no watene share ansa ka na kodu ECG wo enti sa privatization e ka ho asem ye bi na ya di jiji sika no obi etene dia oba bi twobo enti onyi ni say eno so ka bi na nsa ne ma nyina aba.
Yes, a bit to me, but I think that privatization has to do with retailing. And as a beer, and service provision. And a service provision, no, company one money deal now, 95 pesos. And a telcos no so 1 peso. So I don't know 1.95 pesos. Nti a service nasa company ni render by a whole institution ni access.
Okay.
Say ye be privatize access. And access privatization, no, there were different forms of privatization. I bet you boom. But say ye share ECG ne yobia say ye woka sa particular arrangement ye woka in March 2023 any other subsequent arrangement amfam for so amre company na is basically points to one thing: political interference.
Okay.
Politicians ne emma company ni nyina dwuma. It is a politicians emma company ni dwuma na politician no so ne wa form government ni sika so they be inject ama company na fa ntuma pa fra dey na wo say we have to consider privatization, but was say what kind of privatization do you want as a country?
It is sad that by committee energy minister ati no adwuma poti ben and no more baby. It says public utility workers union say they will kick against it. I mean who a branch about we no so aka say privatization they will kick against it. My man my body didn't want me show you so. Now you say a dear poti no more baby.
I think first of all they will engage stakeholders.
Okay.
You engage media that is a must thing they must do because Ghanaians have a concern in the sense that Oshe ECG near is where idea. This all be privatized also be ultimately in the consensus. Oji obi ade editum. Now hear the majority concern. Some privatization so say majority need to be chire ba bi business can free. Especially PUW4 or mo kasa mo I see that as blackmailing because in terms of system losses they are the workers there. In terms of financial performance they are the workers there. Omo dey no mutumi kan ye ebra company no make these losses. Dey no mutumi kan ye ebra company no egu and the total equity e diminish. Say here in the coming 4 years say the rate of liability no ekoso dinase the econo against the assets now and we have negative equities just like the way talk akọ negative equity no. Yes say company no so say what say won tiase ya dey na wo dey ba and I think that is where the conversation must go. We shouldn't be emotional about it. Won't you say my privatizer? How do we solve the problem? Because government doesn't have money. I buy this car 3 billion, I buy 45 billion, so they go inject it. Say I buy so and yes can I inject it? Jacob na. Doom so no. Ebe bada no akra me face bi area. Make say localized fault because machinery and infrastructure are also getting obsolete. So nti yenhwe privatizer, but yenhwe the best form of it. Okay. Apart from yenhwe the best form of it, no. Jacob now we also need to do something. Which later on, Samson will bring a position on it. We need to liberalize the distribution sector. We liberalize or zonalize it. Oko Nigeria, they've done same. Oko South Africa, they've done same. Yen to me in fact company, ECG in fact shake nipa ba kunsem, and I see to me the distribution of electricity into the hands of one person. Yen to me, let's have private participants in the downstream of power. Obi anfa ni humbeji jimubi. Na yen monitor, no kwabe improve that competition. Will even reduce tariff because the concern of the ordinary Ghanaian is say oh privatize here and here na private concessionaire now be abegeno one improve access. So one improve access now or send a BDS here not say PDS one fa share more but later make a lot of money from us. In this all the come private person be and here no one first can be shim so one first can be shim so no be say oh mo increase the tariffs mame because was say me minya misika ba because private person there or a profit oriented person or person maximize profitability nti say sa ebi na ye be kono na say ya ma competition mamu a ye de be ko man kura bi oba be take advantage of us. So we must allow total liberalization of the power sector downstream. I was say liberalizing no. We need models. We are not ebe ye say because oh system no ya pipe system ya line system no that. But their system dynamics obi betimi ahwe system no I design a modeler a bit many other private participants in our downstream. Okay. Competition eba ebema bo no so ati because there be ameka the entia in na ye fango bo antima ko dia ko no is some of this partial deregulation. Say anya ne sa na say be copy other models a eja kom na yenyi Ashanti region fan free greater Accra. Right? We zonalize it. Ashanti region have your own authority or your own disco, buy your power, sell your power. Right? It will improve efficiency. Greater Accra, buy your power, sell your power. Not a central region, buy your power. In other words, we have metro distribution companies. Omuye metro, municipal, on the quarter. South Africa, for example, provinces no, and cities no, omoto power no maton. At the end of the day, all my central government home register.
No, you're not so boka.
So in EC, you know, there are legitimate reasons for us to privatize. Okay. But the person can say committee no yes wrong. Days of central planning is over. Okay. They should engage all of us. Obi amfa na dream room. Na ye hu kwan pa. Ye di ECG faso ebe boye nyina ma dachi no. ECG en collapse kura madum so bi ama. But so mo tena dem eyo mo ne dia minua ye ba betena we resist any attempt of getting us a shoddy deal.
Me da se pa we dey na sanka ben akan we dey
David sina da dey expert ono wa try ni ma kra to ono
try ni ma obey nti mo me fa your topics no doors but am say bre no your 30 minutes nti yen boni taw na fe ade ba ko e be kan wasam be parliament dey no briefly na nti
adade kete bi na me dey ka dey menu aka no o hwe ECG omo problems no enye just saying say you be privatizing na we who be privatizing then because say aye ka say so nim say wo mo a wo bubo meters here they are my private people yeah they my private people na ekosi say meters no wo ho omo atumi provide meters no to meet up the demand of meters and because maybe said the losses you are experiencing in ECG, besides the transmission in Yamano, the biggest one is the ability to sell mubejiji or musika. Womwa yedi kanya bre womono, so mube yusu kanya no mube triasika. And only the biggest problem I think they have now. But metering na meneo kasaya in private people's hands. Me minua baako. So last was it 3 weeks na ba. Na America say minua baako or US. We are in stores e wo Kumasi. Na we tria ECG sika ni nyina. Meter maako em say 12 or say 16. I've forgotten the exact number na say ediba. Contractor na san friend no say ombra be tria sika foforo. Meneo kasaya meters no mai e akofi. De to so mienu mi ankasa me fie ja to mita no ma mita ne hye ahye obu a pictures wo me phone so me de kirewa o ye mba hye e ya konfie mienu afie atwam mita ne mai makọ ho oh yes no omode me akoto fixed mama me fixed rate me tua me mpo a me person me tua me ma pressure no kra mai so but it is in private hands. Yeah. The make akosi ani say nti just say you be privatizing no eno nya say
na say we depend na dia man so betu ye adwuma ko no
obehia millions of dollars or the say transmission no transmission grid co for na ye transmission na ye no problem because the losses on transmission alone is another matter.
Oh, but that is around 4%. And look at the is within the
benchmark of PR. Over my area as we speak, the transformers wo hono bebre ma partial power. It even me feel no minim say area how be an meter ashibia here because they don't have enough power coming to the house. Enti the friend have current. Current ni I have. We used to be bia no ye shika kra bia ajabeto. Enti which part are we privatizing? because omo adwuma na nchichemu no so we say expertise ECG adwuma for expertise no pa anka omo betumi dia ye adwuma no enti omo ma ye hu mom say
so adwuma na adadom betumi ye adwuma na
aka dia na le ni ho
eye won say na
expertise no ho
ben can say be say political interference
ni a different level can be back or but say I made say biggest problem investment sika ye di share adwuma no e ka ho
aban so niska
aban na nkasa ni sika da ho a okukuru sa sika na akɔhyem e na di PDS nsensem nso be baaye so say ano dia no mu privatize omo ma ye hu so dia omo privatize na e be boa na nipa a wo ba no dia unza be nka say we your friends say zone country. In fact, that was the best option. Nipa Bebre making some recommendation. And so Napokra tried so bad BB. It came up and it never saw the light of day. It say ye beg chichemu say ye see Accra ha ye di ama obi ana ejuma ku obi ye best separate grid code transmission from the selling na ye di ama the retail na ye di ama ECG no. Some efficiency be by system no. Enti yen hwe de ye pese ye di ma ankura sika gigye na ye problem obi aye ni no me say de sika sana ya na em say on shada ni omo nya adwi but charges na em say be na chire charges na nkrofo chire say cost company no na enya no kro wo ye mumu a nkrofo ni tibibi eno so ye di ahyem ye di niam bi ahyem enti enya omo sika ni nyina na e ko omo but collecting it say wudawudem na wato ECG no abeboa mimi gidi say abeboa pa because sometimes no ho kire wa enu na odi ye but kwan be na ye fa so aya e be so obi ani a e be ma adwuma na akoso because a monopoly like ECG cannot be making losses mentiase okay a monopoly kire say onu kwa no ton ade no na product no so ya in elastic
and na so between answer na ade amame
na product na nkasa kora no wo patch okora say wo pe ukania na amana
who was the board chairman of ECG?
Herbert Crapper.
Board chairman.
ECG. Oh, a board. Later he became the board chair.
Initially, Kelly.
I remember
Herbert came. So Herbert came as board chair.
So maybe because I buy for flower.
Yeah, the politics.
No, in Ghana that's the constitutional matter. In fact, I'm saying about discussing constitution issue. Time of Mahama can't say any constitutional review. May I support the constitutional review? Say you be any year there. You be you to me ni be a free man penny wa. Let me tell you, one of the reasons I buying a juma and to me kosumo. Any say man penny and a pound your dan.
Yeah.
Na man penny ni pound your dan no ni wia. Nipa no kodin se guru bia na de subo na akobo man penny. Enti media ni nyina ni hwe man penny obi din se guru wa adwuma ya ma wa adwuma akatua bafu oka air condition office kakraka bibia ya de amount meme tax ya de amount ukodin se guru na ya de subo na akobo man penny ai se sanke ya de subo no bo na se obekwa akodam kura ba akodam mienu dam miensa dam a everybody will fall in line. But I don't see the difference. It's in a ECG privatization.
Let's say at that day, before NDC committee, I think maybe MPP wanted to privatize, right?
Okay. The PDS thing, no.
No, before MPP lost power, they also brought a proposal
the challenge is people are trying to make us say, me, I'm not against the privatization or otherwise. The American say,
we just have to look
at the model. Now you want to for more who need dear. On
this one, they say, Enko omu ye PPE arrangements are ebeboa because share your population yenu bebre in poverty. And ye be cost strictly privatization yeni be yentimintu and don't forget the problem
the thing is that when you privatize and maybe later liberalize competition will make sure that tariffs come down. Then other part they say privatize now regulation enforce regulation and also obia to tariff because of say person making so regulation is also
the chat was privatize besides competition the best thing is say who are benefiting from ECG you will insist on certain things.
Okay.
And you better change say you be jayama
adwuma. It's all too for ECG go to money you dey kokko to kwankusi aga. Nti ankwankwa dey betumi asiu no mana yi. America dey say na mo ye no.
ECG.
Ben
Rico, Ghana Post Harbors.
Yeah.
And go for via for the so much Japan. Take it from me.
That is true.
And you click to cast a privatization. Like union for now. Sorry, over your interest. Almost through. Your baby breaking hegemony be. Because we are saying in Japan, private interest. China, communist China.
It's private.
But you see, it's the quality of the private personnel in the neighborhood. Omoma process no emunda ho. Ye tender, ye memunda me ekroma de ba kwa menti ase da na menti ase kro no ngi no weza. Ye babe ye bepe ye de adwuma be mo obi a se bie tender. Ya na so kire wi ase nyina. Ade de wi tender na ye award a ye nsa ma me publish say tender ye. Ni ase ye kwa akoto nsuo yi. De ma ima company de ma no wo se nsuo ba ku obeto no 1 cedi. Na ye nyina ye ni ntuem sa mbase nsuo yi ye to no after all ukoye business a unya margins obi eni say but o margin must not be more than the cost
Yeah.
Ni nyina ye kro no ECG every procurement on be ye bia no is inflated by 150%. A standard okono anye bia omontia
so sourcing
and it any problem no by sikadie twitwiridie na nya almost fault ekromu anko na wunda be politician ye free harvest chairman ye free politician chairman what you open name ye ma opposition me matena Anglican church matena Pentecost match ye free chairman ye de me Agya Kwabena ade ya Agya Kwabena ba bem oni na ebe wi adi bia bre sofo a bomb ye dia ma no ye ko Muslim fia your opposition. And your system now gets a promote to chrono.
Kofi Wacheka.
What you say?
You remember?
And no, and the war ECG. Look, ECG a year king. A dear party was about. And when I be read your report to be NECO report. Ya caught on power war, Sunyane Enclave. Now your town power bears almost 750 million and 222 million. Yes, say distribution losses.
How?
Who is the distribution loss?
I didn't prepay. It's I didn't say me chance.
No, who be so good here? Nobody I dey question distribution loss. The difference also be on more. Cable na nya no and Jimmy anko e be illegal. What are you talking about? What was that your money dey bia na eboka? Etinya report na e be nyina na no kura bi on more. Ye dey akose ho and ye disika no. Bank enwu a wo be ka trasi o.
Obi ema me message me producer ko Azerbaijan no kyerese na Azerbaijan bre wi abo na kyerese wo ma wi abo no nya nanso oman no wi akakra no munya no the whole country about 80% on the solar
yes
and a year
oman o general
China say abi wo ho a private company ufie no na obesi solar panel no e wo soro the amount iti solar na we use no China kakra kranti no akwese PPA ono be yama ntu use no chene kakra bri be so no na bo chie yi na fe ya wo na sambo de ni ra ho ye we necessary be
ya investing in the
product be catch yourself
be use
investors and mahabia obo
be come back to that
you to find investors your partner yes say be ye kura be kwa ko sector minister no yes ye mfa bibi nse Brian Blefum. Now how do you go and record such a
not in him
I be a living testimony me ba o be call so be who minister yes Brian Blefum. I'm say na o ba ne kwa say ye ba be ye project above
experience.
My way, they kind of beautiful, no, beautiful English.
You so like
beautiful English.
One panel, no, yeah, say, oh, yeah,
oh, yeah, Bema, the open beyond in the board.
It's the list, you will say,
you can list. It was said the open on. Nyama B.
They come and look at the size of your house.
They said you are 80,000, 120,000.
Depending, there will be or they 2,800 enya kanea ewo ne common area ewo fan miensa baako si ni hall baako wo each bedroom ewo na ye bibia wie no in fact as at that time it cost 1,000 and 2,000 say ani bo cost because battery no cost but panel I will use no they can see a new table way so a power niama way
okay
you are there was a who you saw I can't say ECG for bed deploy or systems now who you solar no more maybe car over to me at home
bepe brand this
now how we look at video
so many meters in the
because of public interest in that particular in respect to political interference. See, Ghana runs a procurement economy. And people make a lot of money.
Yes. On the schedule.
Meters ne endorse one. What it means is that we buy budu free one be a budu SI on only.
How do you
harmonize?
Just about 19 minutes. Issue back on person can discuss it. Now we be to be discussing.
Now
you see you won't come answer.
Oh, I make kaka create.
Briefly.
So the man can be.
What they can say you share. Baba could be so one can be.
I say ECG aseme kan. Akoye kokora me yare o. ECG one.
Cancer.
Yes. Serious a year oh. I say sa PDS issue ni buy 190 million be koke mo no from US. Through that in the US for that millennium a challenge a compact no a $190 million and now you see a PDS problem into water drawing says kabako kem o si yen to me and famaye unless say yet to me part of a privatization a nasa policy no good na me woni say em say you see eja hina no yena yete yi yemu hina no sore kogwa asoso okoton ade aboka ansa no abafie
bi eni ho
obi eni ho nti ade na ECG me tua bisika
Omagin advance.
We just scan and send back you sure ade no na o ka chem se scan na me di kan dia ma wo no waboka wo wonim say na me no ka say adenta area eno nipa na nkasa na numa sem e bia me ka say crochet o say oda so use credit meter
like the postpaid.
A
lot of them are in
a lot
of them are in
yes. And I'm also one crop for a say mu change meter see nyina nti ade na part bi de mo jama omo
chief but meter now mo dey buy I said I have been following because I am me what omo the meters bi ba na say ya na omo see ye bomb mandate enru ba bia o enru I said omo do commandos the omo ya no mandate to say yes enru ba bia na
omo ba be wa be take here ni ade na business na ni mo be say na anu ye nu ayi o say wo ma na other 8 years or 10 years say problem bi any ho
no meters ni bi the omo dey buy let me tell you I'm not being political
no here. Don't worry
but immediately we took office no meters na was sister enu bi na me use and no some meters no problem me say 90% ECG for per the American a lot of the apartments omo obi apa on from me chere apartment we are meter what building ni mu nyina ba kokora nya adwuma a lot of for boys the dying na mu yeah you see the free meters illegal juma kakra meter ni si so be read
illegal connection
no but I say that but we ni mu adam ti the meter no so udundum opa try dundum ufie won niema nyina biribia na kohwe meter na meter ni ready
no back you are missing something
yes
the meter na ubo ni di say we do bibia obi was socket nkrofo was sockets bia kanea ketu abisi so say ebi wo ho no ma wadum bibia na enu si so a ebe ready to me charging the phone well two phone no but charger na e shemu no adwuma o ni TVC so na was standby na kan ya re kitu abitu ya be ni na power charge money ni na ya be education one day
the abitima boy so kese for say private person no and say Ghana ye benya good ai say be manage economy ni because in terms of tariff build up no ye share forex and inflation. These are macroeconomic policies near papa minia.
They will follow territory and the pool. Yes, you see, when you have a threat. Because one said their interest, that's the workers' interest.
Job losses.
Job losses in a workers' interest, you know. They should also make sure say job na ye dia ma ono okay ni he na nkopre say you be ba
medasi ye osemadu numpe na ya sorry na nsam no
na ye 5333
sema dunumi nsam no do mi nka hu hia me pa oboase de development bi aba ba de bi e kase be ka no asamo a be kwa chiri pa so new videos bi eba at the time na yesisa illegal miners no ene asrafo no enya kama menka no videos na bana ke bi twene na so briniti ebi ya kase be ya beje breni bebre
ebi ya wo ka chawo ne ade ne
aha briniti eye very sensitive a me feel say ye ka e be se nya breni ya ka ye nkoka no me fi bi enti ye hwe we nanka ye mfa eno ensori se no be ye beboan ya we the appointment na se for the nyina ye hunu ene se dey see ko na ye hwe what is happening in kan ka topic we hu but pejan hunti no yan fa no wure mu na fe yan fa so ebrenusa said no Ablekumanov no business in parliament 7th time yisi Ablekumanov motu about on kenkan no aheda imprem makomako and song and once am adura ma bedu baby say come here say what is meaning in actually say ye win afa minority in parliament kire say woman hwanka wasem a omo government business enkoso our parliament. The question is say parliament na say dey ni breko wi omo so ana say yi si na say so hwema about so no sunsanso no ekwa na wi ye no one na say dey so bono solo 3 minutes
isi ba na say ka ma me no dey resolution letter to na ye wi because dey ye buy inka koka no say issue do pin sheet aba Electoral Commission nanga say ka so ni pin sheet. Can you imagine? Yakoto aba wi institution wu ni pin sheet. Ti one pin sheet never go declare. Ti ba na ngo se ko atwe no. De akọ nyina ne se ba ko lusu yi. Ba ko ho se pin sheet ni ho. Menye ntum. Ene ye nkoto aba no foforo. Ye koto aba no foforo wa pa social pass ye koto aba wa Ablekuma. Who is the party be the win? And this will win it easily. I'm telling you.
Yes, MPP is strong.
MPP, they go see. And I don't go be idea so to bet TV because of MPP. Yes, I get caught.
So listen to her. So let us
say party back way NDC. You two about for be MPP so I will say you of course by election now be lusu. The train baby I want me do more ekon kona money here. That's not the right place. Okay, so we need more parliamentary. What is it? But minority no more no. Omen is I say 88 there. Emunye do. Ti also we distracted. They must be in the news.
Sana hunu.
Oh, sana tie. Na say be end this vote it is as on parliament. Eduma be parliament be parliament. Be no mun doing passing. I'm telling you. Eduma there no more and there no no so more. Be in the news for the good or bad reason. Ni ebomudi any least opportunity they must make noise. If it's a situation na party ni woman enye papa
some constituency na ehia representation in parliament
constituency no say no ye easy no se koye say adwuma no in parliament na so nko no me mato abama was o ka kwesi out se ko jama na em wo say Ablekuma e ma ngodi ni madwuma. What sort of life is this? Now okra so betia ka bia abo Ablekuma fo no eti kwatras na ye adwuma ba nya no gina omo yes the two of the matter they say omo pese ye to omo ga ba nya na ye discuss omo anka sa se we visit ga YouTube ye be sa da Agya I'm a Biafra MPP, I'm telling you, now to baby crowd of here. Now, MPP, minority was sport. Send a bear on the back. Media landscape.
Solo dear.
And who the Opa, who the Basare being far. Now, Minister being a mistake, they will go cross with me. Minority will do a press conference on it. Send a bear de piano, no more gather momentum, or more gather. But unfortunately, grassroots, no, a pipe, or my party, no. On the party, I don't want on my day, on my pie.
Ernest, as soon as you look at serious.
That's all the only to quantify.
Then that's all the way down.
Or this will be as near to
minority. Say, this is a Safway, Central Coffee, Lolobi Akpafu. 4 years. Yantise. Sabrina Moabemuno.
Yeah.
Majority etumi kan ho asam amehunu so ade we de hamo 4 years na chi we e ba ye no e na mokasa semu obi say edede hunu sane a solo kan sampa
say who easy for release no on why they couldn't conclude on Ablekuma North because na nya Ablekuma North nko na asem wo bebre hu. But isi no bo modern eye de omo beye ayiyi no ba akuma Ablekuma North na etwa to a high court on the 4th of January. High court ne share say police for emmo isi for ho ban na isi for no enko wi adwuma no. Isi for the statement about our website or it's been there. Enye ne na eba ya che. Approach for no entumi ammo isi for ho ban. Da on the 7th na of January na ye kwa kan abani biom na ya declare ti said ya declare the aka na proceed for free easy for say ye to me mo hu ban na ya pick intelligence say e for monye. Ghana police could not protect the Electoral Commission e wo dan ba ku say omo ehu say for monye NDC for ba be ye true trasemo say den intino omutumi mo Electoral Commission state agency hu ban nti enano mete say obi kura yakoje yankrofo ne bika na me say na say state organization yes state police embo organization hu ban na wantumi ambo hu ban na Agya Kwabena UTV no betumi ayende nti we said the police have disappointed the whole state
na yehwe na yisi na nkasa nso ono ne de adwuma na hye sa so oye
yisi ni tumi owo niama no oniama na o se exactly so local say
city kro ni bi
David one oni pink sheet oni I say obi anfa ni pink sheet no ye wia Agya Kwabena ye de o de ma ye de solo movement de ama ye
alade o ni bi o
omo ni bi
oh how do you tell me
ba I know de am de koy mumu de
ya de koy
no mo de 40 bi omude 40 dina bi 41
statement easy for statement na make
no
on website obi ankore
and also all pictures
say omo betina say kwan ya omo fa so a omo di ye di aka ni nyina no me mpese me kana obi adwen say me defend easy I'm not defending them but me can the facts
yeah but omo the print sheet that's a fact
there omo betina say na omo aye no ti say the omo ye all the others are e ka ba akupen Police for mebo wo mu hu ban o mu si NDC for to for ba honti police for adwane this for statement na wo website enti na me can say me I saw something say NDC for to ashe MPP for office so no dey me blame police ni because police for me nu na ejina ho na hu say dey mrante na ni abre na me ye police ni no kura nka me jina ho kura yeye America bia metu no because omo ani abre but this is what is happening omampani na to me country Ghana police say aposifo mombo nkrofo ho ban mombo aban japade ho ban de o kan ye ni say omo njai na so omo njai he will have to be compelled to bring the security agencies na chere say on kan ye mpo say aposifo make sure say Ablekuma North any abanye nyuma ye mrante ni tu hye wo mo so no mu nkobo ho ban nti wo pese o kire me say Agya Kwabena with all the security services ti say the obi ka ye gi ye nyina ye to edi twa wo mo ka so mo mbo o man hu ban no NDC mrante pe etumi shut it down Ghana police Ghana army obia how
na IGP dey there
na IGP who ya IGP a sabri who ya IGP
I don't know,
so there's a problem.
There's a problem.
There's a problem because the leader of the country monjoy oman penny wo mining yesi penny a wutena fie man kwalare nanka ya buka nanka refo a wona ye di bede no besoa ono oman penny na ye di tumi a hye ne sa it is a togo for betu hye ye nso a obeka say oh mu de mu njai na mu njai dia be fresh
ye processes
it is wrong
ye processes
ma yembo aban japa ye
maintain law and order as IGP
I told Agya Kwabena the last 3 weeks at a point in time somebody has the legitimacy no krakra untumi kan as a police agent
and don't you know who no be obetua be ya
ababani ne ka cha na so pa o hwa na untumi kan cha mrante ana untumi order the military to protect the state and you resign ka cha na me na ka cha
na je bro that
ya na titi ka cha ka ma
no say IGP
omampani
woni say woni mu say ebra about we koso na ehun kenkan sem no ayi yisi officials a wo constituency wo ebe kan say there are some pink sheet bia woman na wo ho ansa na bato no course en ne kenkan bibia course sa pink sheet na wo mo de aba no enye credible pink sheet en no mo de aba
eno mo na court
enti say yisi official no te ho and we say pink sheet na wo obi de aba no enye credible pink sheets there then yes nankasansa the organization yes nankasansa no na enye big question mark na wo mujumedi omudi hu
yes ye to abawia menim ye ya di abato achi ache no me ma di abato achi nyene ye to aba ni wia pitch sheet ni ye ti baako e di ma parties
obi a
ye nyina ye san ni wia ye di obi ade
ya
pa ye fan say party 9 kura na e wo polling station ho ana me ensa ye ti pink sheet ama obi a ye fan say yisi for the enso de be ka na wo book no mu book no ko yisi ho ana me bo ako enti yisi de ne de aba wanya 10 manya 20 wo se won ti ase na ye de ima party de aba ye nya wanya 10 manya 20 wo se won ti ase by the time I will check third person say me ye fan say in this case the NDC is contesting it NDC for say yen nya 50 and na wanya 20 but miensa na aka na mienu na aka ni nyina aka de kura. All they needed to do was for everybody to be in the room no be anhwe the course nie ana de wo challenge no yen kofa boxes no na yen sign kan sa ne ye no sa ne aye na bepim ne
me da se
e ba ne sign na we de obi se ompne na police ni adwane
me da se abusapani mo so mo ha pa ne den esan se kame say 61 polling stations 63 and 60 something
63
and the move 41 there omagia to say a proper pink sheet and no no MPP for the obda na yisi for gina so e de ye de obda ye no it is na tie sensem ye di achiro ye di asem very interesting
as a matter of MPP didn't have the pink sheet. They manufacture something.
They say manufacture saying.
How do you know?
Yes,
were you there? You cannot make this statement.
Muko, baby, I dream no. Most said that I see mo santo and asamunya den briefly near ko.
Agya Kwabena. Sabia yetio nyina ne ama saade we ya nyina me blame Supreme Court. I blame the Supreme Court. Say Dumra Jemensa ye Juma no be jira dakem. No account for her still worship. The Supreme Court catch and said they will not allow her.
Now why we call some man now we need evidence.
Who can send them in
you 1 minute to patch.
What you say?
You never fair time.
What you say? And no. And the man Jemensa enya akukuduru because in car me nyi say returning officers betumi enya akukuduru out that figures e pink sheet POs o free POs mo wo buy say wo me confirm e presiding officers wo brand mo friend say police stations say bra na be confirm say signature the figures here wo the other o sure say figure dey all right but signature dey nyame dey Agya Kwabena nyamo na mo kokko buy me bu aka kire obi an obi antie
That was true.
Why do we have to do this to ourselves?
Behind the scenes.
Why do we have to do this?
So why were the signatures?
Otukono exposed Patrick Buama and the returning officer there. Two of us. We could find two different
pink sheets.
Pink sheet. Okay, ya no say. When and when so and when. Ya be sure signatures here different. They're the same figures. Why NPP is doing this? You can't hold even the EC responsible for what is going on. You are here defending. Like I said, yes, me defending. But defending I don't know here. Only part of
Bunipa no Bunipa.
Bunipa no
Una wa ko party office wa Abreguma no.
When so the kotoge we are ocean screen na so ti say you go. What is this? No mu wi a wa ko parliament kwako su. Hwesa. We deprive yourself 4 years because of Amewu. Nothing wrong with that. Look at a burger, Canadian burger, James Jachikwesi. Onundi onye nipa na asen no fufu nye nipa. One come.
Baby, I didn't know the say what say.
Nipa na we deprive wo mplemplen you know.
Okay.
Won't be hwe ho asem on solve. No wakwa na parliament is a wusu. What in a parliament?
No, enough. No business in parliament.
Make away the anything on
parliament. They must go work.
Computer. What can send me? Name some pen of for 100 and course here. Also, say you provide a tablet. MPP for one thing of year. MPC no. You provide a tablet and my government and provide a tablet and my one thing of year. No proceedings, no contribution. No inspectors. You're just making noise.
Easy as some way. Maybe if it was a serious country where a crime was committed, because at a point there were two different pictures, different signatures. Why? But our institutions are not interested in finding out and punishing microphone so that it won't repeat itself.
Check a cross and check.
But you know that people said they want to find out. Police provided with
MPP at that time.
Police
when you were talking, we listened.
Go ahead.
You see, when at that time MPP was still in government.
Oh,
yes.
And what I realized, they say, most of MPP parliamentary candidates were not ready for power. Many of the problems emanated from them. They felt that it was a given. Okay, Marco came out to concede defeat. Later on, so all of the security implications in this, I say, young pet institution should be found and to her. See, we must make sure say your early warning systems to forestall all these things, and we must have inter-party dialogue. We know you are with EC, but the echo with EC no, and fair. We say minority parties no, they will go along with the government, the party in government. And so voting or move vote here and go here. And we say if you are in government, MPP was always defending the EC. It was as if the government is easy and everybody else didn't have it, you know. So one is system inter-party dialogue no any youth engagement programs. Won't say you to a Juma. All these things that are happening, almost go up. Because the fact that
133.
almost
That's supposed to create 2.3 million jobs.
You see, the fact that
Our data now
the fact that almost this almost party winner. And media monitoring. Our media landscape has been politicized. NDC for media houses, MPP there is not good for our democracy. Now, as a institutional framework, so institutional framework, the independence of the Electoral Commission and the behavior of this Electoral Commission has proven to Ghanaians that they have not been independent. Security sector coordination. Until Adade is crying that the police refuse to do its job. Court gave an order. So if the police are not carrying out its work, where do you go? You go back to court. There are other considerations like economic policy recommendations.
Me 1 minute they say I'm a bit confused because media Martin say NDC has 2 tests and so normally they can form quorum and also do their thing. So action opposition are taking. I don't get it. Say action I will take you are flopping a dead horse. Who born so emphasobia.
About medium, then you discuss here.
About medium.
Just making noise.
To catch attention. I was say very considerate in some of these assertions and statements. But your problem kesipa ye nyina ye gitumwa kroni here reforms because you don't have state institutions. We have regime institutions. We have political party institutions. And until we get state institutions, Agya Kwabena, 1,000 years. So we are more UTV 1,000 years. You will also discussing some of these issues because ends that. Because I didn't know you be elections easy because only pink sheet. You who say a bin so fabricating a pink sheet. You to mean can't no crazy. Pink is not by fabricated.
And get him arrested.
Why is the police in the silent? I don't need that by
it was
Parliament, you know, who's easy, you catch us who result. Pink sheet,
very serious. You want to submit the view of the constituency.
Benjamin Ensia medase na afi Solomon Wusu medase na afi Busu Panyin Munko Wusu medase bre no aso Munko na ha Busu Panyin Munko medase yes anti solar now come so mate
bana na appointment ba ye kodi
na ye wo tike ni na besi e wa ha na ye de aseda ama mu nyina de di kan ma me fa seda Emma specialize na fe this way and this for so muso yasen na bi so enko Emma perfect man way for one the pam ata de ma me ho afefe fesa no number 0244 147212 and afa ne kra no ekoma wo so nya bre na wo hweye ye hwe kwase adom ye ne a dasene ye besan ahia ye so so yi de ye kan se omane ye wo dia omane ye media omane ye nyina ye de se de akikire no ene be ye betina mu ye chichi ni ye a be ya mayen ya chichi ni ye nso a ebe sa mayen ese mayen a ye be da ne nkoa aho be ya de hye eno nkwa da ruade adonti empare ye da se ne ye be hia ya kramo ama mu nyina mo ene hwe